I think we usually mute this.
Think
So here. Got it. Wait a few minutes for maybe one or two people to be notified that we Sunday night live.
Sunday Night Live.
Yeah.
Where's that from? Sunday Night Live.
Saturday night live.
Oh,
Saturday
wasn't
night.
there like wrestling or something?
Oh, I don't know.
Sunday Night Live. No, Monday.
Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
Raw. Yeah.
something.
We'll go ahead. And
Something
see.
night something.
I don't know if it's showing that we're live yet.
Night.
So boom. Yeah.
Fame. I wanna know.
Oh, we got 14 people watching. What's happening, people? Let me
Something night.
bam, 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 just like that. What's going on, family? I'm a actions pin. There we go.
All right.
So I done already posted. I done got it together. Y'all know usually when we do these live things, I'm
It's
always
about
trying to
20 minutes.
figure out what's going on and how to get it. But yeah, so what's down? What's down? That boy from the city, he said, what's down? Boy, whoever Zero G's is, that boy said, what's down? I know he from the city. I know it. But yeah, we all right. Sharon Gregory, shout out. Eugene Conclusion. That's an interesting name. Eugene Conclusion. I don't know if that's his real last name.
Probably.
Oyoba. A-Y-O.
Well, I've seen Io without the B, so Ioba.
Oh, Ioba. That's what I was trying to
Maybe.
say. Ioba.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Shut up. All
Yeah,
right.
oh, hold on.
Uh-oh.
Let me just lay with it, rock with it.
Oh, that's
Lay with
right.
it, rock with it.
Got something to show you.
All right, family. I guess we can get started now.
Get started.
So we are back again. It's your brother Assad.
Yes,
Are you supposed to say I made you? Boy,
I'm Age. I'm sorry. I was distracted.
We're back again with another quick live.
Lives and never quit.
Yeah.
But we won't do too long today.
And in terms of housekeeping, I gotta give a special and a significant and a particular and a peculiar shout out to my South African family for all the love you guys have shown this channel, my wife, my family, my children, myself. We greatly appreciate it. And I have to say this.
Ooh, so was it for that grainy picture?
Yeah, I mean, this on my computer.
Can you see it?
Can you see it? Can you see it? Well, you cover my face.
I don't know. Let me see.
They got it. That Rans and Black hand.
Yeah.
Can you see the Rans and Black?
Bam,
Bam, bam, bam. Just like that.
Bam,
Bam,
bam.
bam, bam.
They can see it now.
Just like that. Rans and Black hands. It might be backwards. Yeah.
Like, what is that word say?
Rans and Black hands. We got the t-shirts coming soon. Shout out to Brother Steven.
Got this little like with the collar.
And it's nice. This is almost as nice as a polo. This is almost nice as the real polo. The Ralph Lauren polo. Yeah, this is nice here. This is nice. And for the ladies, Brother Steven is putting this together. So shout out to Brother Steven.
Brother Steven.
I'm gonna put this thing here.
For the ladies, we got the little T.
The little baby T.
The little baby T.
The little baby
Rans
T.
and Black hands.
Rans and Black hands,
It's my
baby T.
T.
Well, yeah, that's a toddler T.
A large baby.
Yeah, the toddler T. So coming soon, family, we getting the merchandising together. Shout out to the Brother Steven for putting it together for us. Because if I left it up to me, it wouldn't happen. But the brother really put this together for us. So shout out to that brother. So soon we'll have a link coming up where you can just click on the link and buy you some put Rans and Black hands. Put Rans and Black hands merchandise.
All right.
And I think I'm gonna start making me some bam, 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 just like that. T-shirts that say bam, 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 just like that. People been telling me to do it. People been saying, you brother side, you gotta make you a t-shirt, bam, 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 just like that. And I might do the great philosophical musician who
Salt and pepper said.
Salt and Pepper said, just push it.
Push it.
Push it real good.
We'll have a series.
Man, so yesterday, let me see. Let me make sure y'all got the link. Anybody that want to jump in, the link is right there. The link, let me put it back in that thing for you. Bam. So let's go through the comments before we get started. Let's see. Sibo says, hi, family. What's going on, family? Do toi?
I don't know. But what's up?
SJ. Dude, that look French. That's French. They said, I'm glad you caught the live. All right. Mahina.
Never goes well when you go through.
Yeah, you watching the World Cup. I can't lie to you. I'm just not in this football / soccer. It's hard for me because I don't even understand the sport. So I don't understand it. And I don't know what it will take me years. I got a learning curve to actually be able to enjoy it. Plus, I don't really watch sports anyway. Like in the States, I didn't watch American football. I started watching American football. Shout out to Kaepernick. When they let Kaepernick go, I said I'm letting them people go. I ain't watching that no more. I didn't watch basketball. I didn't watch baseball. No, I wasn't into sports like that. You know, maybe back when I was younger, I watched it or whatever have you. But my son, he could tell you who won the World Series in 1971 and all that little type of stuff.
All right.
Another quick but long video. Yeah.
How it goes.
All right now. All right. 60 Black and Natural. That's what I'm talking about. Greetings, beautiful people. I'm actually headed to the NO on Wednesday, my first post-retirement trip.
Come on.
SA in 2023. All right, come on, Drew. Be careful out there in New Orleans. I just heard just before we got on this live, 5 people were shot on Bourbon Street. It was a Bayou Classic this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not saying because I don't want to blame black college students. So if y'all don't know what the Bayou Classic is, the Bayou Classic is a big football game between 2 HBCUs. One called Grambling State University and the other one called Southern University. So it brings a lot of black people to the city of New Orleans, a lot of young black people to the city of New Orleans, right? Because everybody want to go out, have a good time. I think it's like 40, 50,000 people in the Superdome and then another 50 or 60,000 people just outside, you know? So, but a lot of times that crowd, because it's like a lot of young people, they attract more young people who may have more nefarious motives and intentions. So 5 people were shot on Bourbon Street. So be careful. Be careful when you hit New Orleans. Stay around the white people. That's
so stupid.
I'm about to say go to Bourbon Street, but no, don't go to Bourbon Street. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Stay out during the day. Be outside during the day. That's it. Don't be out there at night. It gets dangerous. The freaks come out and so do the wolves. Now that's what I'm talking about expanding. That's right. We need that on a backwards horse. Shane Polo SA watching catch a string.
Well, you got to pass me the shirt again because folks have come in.
Oh, okay.
And they didn't see it the first time.
Oh, okay.
So you got to keep.
All right.
We got to do the women's baby tea. Rands and black hands.
The toddler tea. Rands and black hands. Shout out to Brother Steve.
And then we have like a polo-ish version.
Do you know? Because
Brother Steve.
The La Polo.
Rands and black hands.
Rands and black hands.
Zoom in.
Rands and black hands.
All right. For those the first time we
flashed. We'll do it one more again. We'll do it one more again.
Brother Steve said he want to see people all over the place in it.
Listen, y'all. I'm thinking, so we're going to talk about the meetup yesterday in that situation, but I'm thinking somebody made a beautiful suggestion. They was like, next time you do a meetup, I don't know about December, but maybe in January, we'll drive out to like Durban one weekend, like leave on a Friday drive out to Durban and do like a meetup at a black-owned restaurant in Durban, because it almost we live in Josie, so it's gonna be unfair regardless. But it almost seemed like it's unfair that we're not hitting these other cities. Cape Town too far. You got to catch a flight to Cape Town.
Special trip.
Yeah, you got to. You got to plan that one out. That's gonna be like a big one, because we're gonna plan it out and we're gonna talk about it like 2 months in advance. Yeah.
Like,
and do it.
Y'all better show up to this meeting.
Yeah, exactly. But Durban, we can hop in the car on a Friday, drive out there, catch us a hotel or Airbnb, and then do the meetup on a Saturday, and then turn around on Sunday and drive back. So yeah, so we want to talk about that shortly. But let's see.
They said let us know how to get one.
All right, soon.
Shortly.
Huh?
Shortly. We'll let them know shortly.
Shortly, yes. We're gonna get a little link. A little link will be a link.
We'll drop the link.
We'll drop the link soon. Once everything up and running, bam, 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 just like that. All right. What I caught the live greeting family. All right, Angie. Night family. Hope you enjoyed. So Aaron, shout out to Aaron. All right. Zonkle. Did I get that right? I think I feel.
No, there's no L. I don't see an L.
I wasn't saying.
See Zonke?
That song. It's not that how you say it?
I don't know.
Oh, Zonky? Maybe Zonky. I'm sorry. I don't know. Y'all know I'm not good with names. I saw another brother posted a video, and he had come to SA for like, he was waiting SA in June, and he just posted his video recently, and he was pronouncing words all good, and all the South African family. That's wonderful. You learn to pronounce. Your pronunciation is great. Hey, listen, if y'all listen to my English, it's not that good. So y'all can't expect too much from me. All right. We love S.A.K.
Just go past the names. Just
brother, it means we build a South African warrior in Zamazulu. My sister, your name, it means girl that is born from Zulu Natal. All right. Oh, they're giving you a name. All right. Oh, okay. I see. Well, you got to put that in phonics. You got to sound that out phonetically for me. Can I have a beanie hat? Ooh, that'll be fire. That would be nice. Yeah. Shout out to Aaron for that one right there. Yeah. Surname French, but
they have the fire bucket, like the bucket hats here too.
Yeah, they do. They do. And you have to make the logo a little bit smaller, you know? Yeah. But you know what I saw? Watch this. I was watching Blood and Water. I don't know if y'all finish it, so I ain't gonna get no spoilers. But one of the characters walked in and she had that shirt, Africa, Your Time Is Now. We saw that shirt in the Mall of Africa. You all remember that? Yeah. She said, oh, so Dutoit said her name is French, but she's South African. I think, I don't know. I don't want to say I talked to that person. I think I did, but I don't want to say I did. Greeting family, I love you guys. We went to SA last month. Spent 14 days going back and forth. I would love to meet with you. All right, that's Nia Long. Nia Long?
Nia.
That's it.
Not the Nia you're thinking.
Nia Long, huh? Nia Long. All right. But
you thought she was on here? Oh goodness.
That's somebody making fun of my mayor. Hello, thank you so much for sharing SA content. We look forward. Stop.
You gotta put it on something else.
Y'all should have Rans and Black Hands snapback cap. We do. We got it's downstairs. I can't get up and go get it right now.
No, but we did.
Yeah.
Brother Steve made one as well.
Yeah, we haven't been going live as of late. And we've been kind of just doing videos and posting them up or whatever have you. But we here now. We here now. Think it's pronounced Zonky. Okay. Nah.
Zonky.
Zamazulu doesn't cut it for me. Nah, Zamazulu doesn't cut it. I don't know what they mean. Boy, if people don't stop sending me messages. You got that bam, bam, bam on the beanie hat. Yeah. She did say Nia Long. It's Nia Long. Man, that man did you wrong, Nia. That man did you wrong, Neil. Come on through SA.
Happens to the best of us, girl.
We can join you on the drive to Durban road. Oh, look at that. Makes sense.
What?
They said we could join you on the drive to Durban. So, like people saying they could drive out there. Yeah.
Descend on different
Yeah.
cities and different provinces.
Oh, man.
Well, the Brands and Black Hands caravan.
Oh, go ahead, MC Light. Go ahead, MC Light. Mr. Aside got a little excellent thinking. It was excited thinking it was Neil Long. Brands and Black Hands had a beanie. I appreciate it. Black man, it's coming soon. Dutoit is pronounced Dutoit in the Afrikaans language. Okay. Are you on WhatsApp? Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, you go email me. Asad El Malik. Y'all see how my phone be blowing up right now? Asad ASADELMALIK @gmail. And I actually answer all my emails, not all the time on time, but eventually I get around to answering most of my emails. And I check my email all the time. So, man, y'all saying that like I can hear y'all. Y'all writing it like I can hear
Man, if y'all don't jump on this live to say it with your chest.
Somebody jump on the live and give me the correct pronunciation. I just put the link in the thing. But anyway, let's talk about yesterday's meetup. So yesterday we had the meetup at Solo and Santon. And we had a nice turnout. Shout out to everybody that came out to the meetup. We did laugh loud, talk loud, ate, drank, and was merry.
Yes.
And we actually met the owner, and he was very gracious and nice. And he was, I thank you so much for coming and doing this. And I'm gonna tell you what I noticed was, so there were people, I don't know if the brother knew about the meetup or not, but he's a Jamaican brother from New York who now lives in South Africa. And he walked up to me because he wasn't at our table. We had one long table with everybody, with our little party. But he was sitting there by. He walked up to me, started talking like, "Man, I want you to know, I appreciate what you're doing. Giving me big ups or whatever have you." And he said, "I don't want to be on camera or anything." I was like, "He must be on it."
Ducking the law. Must be a panther.
Or he took off work and he's talking about he on disability. You know what black people do? No. Can't go to camera. I told my boss I'm on disability. But yeah, no, I'm just joking. But that just let you know that everybody that sees what you're doing, you don't see everybody that sees what you're doing. So shout out to that brother, man, because I just appreciated that. I appreciated everyone that came out to Solo Restaurant. It was good. We had a good time.
We did.
Yeah, we stayed, I guess, from 2:00 to 7. I know the people were like, won't they get out of here? They were like 7, maybe 7:30 we left there. Yeah.
They always last a while.
A long time, yeah. But I think that's and what I also noticed is that, well, it's like people want to connect and commune, and people that didn't know each other sat around each other and talked the whole 5-6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they know each other? Some of them people that just met that day and sat down and got to conversing and talking and laughing loud. I was the loudest one, I ain't gonna lie. But that's just natural.
Yeah.
That's natural. So what else going on in the comments, y'all? Let's see. I think we got on here just to holler at our people. Just like going outside.
Yeah, right. So what's going on with y'all?
Mariam H. Hey, y'all so funny. I'm in Atlanta. ATL, shout out to them traffic. I want to come so bad, but I have a 4-year-old. Can y'all talk more about the schools and healthcare? That's so important for me. So, okay, definitely the healthcare system is pretty much the same as the United States.
Yeah,
You
very
gotta
similar.
you gotta get you some health
I think it's
insurance.
better coverage overall, though.
Yeah, I think the coverage, obviously, if you were making US dollars, the coverage is you'll be like, damn, you'll be blown away by the prices. For my South African family, obviously if they're making rands, then it's different. But for us, it's very affordable. So that's affordable in the context of two people who make American dollars, right? With that being said, all of it is very familiar. You just it's Discovery and Best Med. I believe those are the two best ones in the country, and that's like Blue Cross, Blue Shield, and
Yeah.
Who else? Those insurance companies we have in the States.
Humana.
Humana, yeah, and stuff like that. You pay every month. You can get full coverage, hospitalization, all kind of stuff, dental, vision, and whatever have you. So if you go to the hospital, I mean, go to the doctor, like I got high blood pressure, so I'm on medicine. Yeah, I just revealed something. I had to reveal it to y'all. But I got high blood pressure. Like y'all want to know the story behind it? I'm gonna get back
Oh,
to it.
Lord.
So I had told my doctor a few years ago my pressure was up, and she said, "I want to put you on a small dose of medicine." I said, "No, I'm gonna lose weight, go work out, and blah 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 blah." And I did, and went back. My pressure was fine. Then 2020 hit, and my workout changed. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. Like when I came into SA in 2019, I was 190 pounds. I ain't nowhere near 190 pounds now. I'm about 230. But so the I stopped working out, or I wasn't working out like I should. I would always go and lift weights, but I wasn't doing what's important is the cardio, right? Important is the cardio. So right before we left to come here to move here in August, I mean, it might have been like the night before, the 2 nights before, my sister, who is a nurse, took my pressure just because she was taking my mom's pressure. And if some of y'all watch this, y'all know my mom had a week in the hospital and it was a scare, but she back strong and popping. And because God is real. But anyway, it took my sister took my pressure and it was bam through the roof. And she said, "You gotta promise me as soon as you get to South Africa, you will go to a doctor and get on some medicine." So we had Discovery that's what we have. We have Discovery, went to the doctor, and I'm gonna tell you what the doctor said. She said, "Your heart sounds great." Because I used to run, I used to go and run miles, 5 and 6 miles. That your heart sounds great. Your lungs sound perfect. She said, "But your blood pressure is atrocious." And I was like, "Well, doc, I try to hit her with that okie doke. Well, doc, I'm gonna lose weight. So I'm gonna lose weight and I'm gonna work out and do what's right. So maybe we can hold on." She's like, "No, you gonna stroke out. You gonna take this medicine." There was a white doctor woman. She said, you gonna stroke out, you're gonna take this medicine and then start doing all them lies that you telling me right now. Yeah, start doing that then, and then come back and see. So we'll see how this works out. I'm gonna start working out, trying to lose weight, get in shape again, try to get off this meds. But anyway, I said all to say it's the same process, very familiar process. Now, I don't know much about the public school system here, like the free schools, but they have so many great private schools, and I'm sure they have great public schools. I just don't know about them. Or I don't know if they can call public schools or whatever have you.
Yeah.
But the private schools are great. There's so many of them that you can choose from. Whether there's the American school, there's Crawford, there's name me some more.
All the Saints, lots of like religious private schools.
They do. Other internet, there's so many of them. Red Hill, Red Clay or Red Hill.
Red Hill, yeah. Like if you turn a corner, there's another.
Yeah, there's a lot of private schools. So Miriam, yep. Sending blessings from Phoenix. Shout out to Phoenix. Rands and Black Hands Caravan. You saw her rapping, huh? Bam, bam, bam. I please have a peculiar shout out. Man, please have a peculiar shout out. Shout out to Emmanuel. Boy, that's a strong name, brother. That is a strong name, brother. I named my son. His middle name is Emmanuel. That's a strong name, brother. I know you know what it means. Gave him the Black Power fist. That's a strong name, brother. All right, Caravan of Durban, ducking it out with all them trucks on the N3. All right. I saw some of the videos of the meetup. It looked so much fun. It was fun. It is fun to meet people and laugh loud, talk loud. Y'all, I say it all the time, but that's radically simple. And it's entertaining and it's fun. And it's,
It is. And we have people who come to multiple
we got
meetups
regulars.
now.
Yeah, we got regulars.
And they're starting to say, like, oh, you need to do this in my house.
Yeah,
I
somebody
won't
invited to
invite
their house. Yeah.
strangers to the house. But it's starting to develop into like a real community.
Yeah. And you
people
know what I
know
want
each
to
other
say
through these meetups and everything.
is that you could have your own meetup too, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like it's not, we don't own this. We ain't got no this ain't no LLC. I think it would be fire if people got together on a girls' night out. 3 girls, 4 girls went together, said, girl, we're gonna be strategic and intentional about where we spend our money. So before we go to the club, we're gonna stop at Solo, we're gonna stop at Daruma, we're gonna stop at Jamila's, we're gonna stop at Continental Bistro, and we're gonna make sure we spend our money there before we hit the streets and or whatever have you. Brother said, man, your brother, your cousin, your friend, and all the people coming into town. We gonna celebrate your birthday, but we gonna make sure we celebrate it at a Black-owned spot and have these kind of not impromptu, but these other type of meetups. It's the purpose. Okay, let's talk about it. The purpose about this is awakening the consciousness of African people, Black people, African Americans to be intentional about the economics that we practice. That's it. Once you start with Black-owned restaurant, I go to Black-owned restaurants, you become intentional, like, what other businesses can I support?
Where do I get my nails done?
Where I get my nails done? Is it Black-owned? Where I get my hair done, my haircut. And I think most Black people get their haircut by other Black people. At least
spa do I go to?
Right.
Little stuff like that.
They call them the garage here, or the mechanic. We call them a mechanic, right? The mechanic that works on my car. Now in South Africa, I'm sure it's relatively more easier to find Black-owned businesses. So this concept comes from an American context, right?
Yeah.
Where Black-owned businesses need an intentional level of support. You have to intentionality. You have to be like, God damn it, I gotta find something Black. If not, businesses go out of business. So so here it should be easier. But what that does, it awakens. Lord have mercy, I wish these people leave me alone. It awakens your mind in terms of how you spend your money. We know that right now, a lot of the wealth in this nation is not held, even though I see a whole lot of rich Black South Africans, there's still a lot of wealth that is being held from these from the apartheid era, still being held in white hands. Now I don't have no problem with white people. Well, listen, they did what they did. What I'm saying is there is a way that Black folk can regenerate and create wealth in their own, is by being intentional about where we spend our money. That's one of the ways. What banks you bank with. Somebody told me something about APSA yesterday, that they didn't allow Black people to bank with them until like maybe 10, 15 years ago. I don't know if it was 10, 15 years ago, but recently.
Yeah, I said about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I was like, well, I don't know. I'm rolling with FNB. I'm rolling with FNB. Yeah, 10, 15 years ago, that's too soon. I got to give you some time to get your stuff together. But anyway, Real South Africa has videos talking about healthcare and education. All right. Revolutionary. That's right. How many people came? I don't count.
But if you want to know next time, come to the meetup.
I don't count. Let me tell you, if 2 people showed up, that is enough. The Bible said, "With 2 or 3 gathered in my name." Why Negro always go to the Bible?
2 or 3. It said 2 or 3.
Have you lost weight, Dr. Todd? Yes and no. Right? I ain't lost nearly the amount of weight that I'm supposed to do, but I'm on a mission right now. So I don't know if y'all know about intermittent fasting, right? So I did intermittent fasting in 2000, started late 2018. By 2019, I went from about where I am now, maybe about 230 to about 190 pounds, working out whatever have you. I gotten so hard onto the fasting tip. I was eating 1 meal a day. Now, fasting was easy for me and Adrian because we're Muslim and we fast every year for Ramadan. So we've been doing this for a decade or more or whatever. So it was like I can do fasting. And so that's what happened in 2020. I got off of my fasting kick and I started eating regular meals again. And I eat a lot. That's just a problem. I like to eat. I eat all the wrong stuff. I like bread and pasta. I don't really like pasta. I like bread and carbohydrates. I like sugar. So, but yeah, I have started my fasting again. So I am in the process of losing. And because I really do want to get off of this medicine. I think I'm far too young. I'm only 43 to be popping pills, and I got to pop this pill every day. So yeah, I want to get off of that. So I'm gonna do it, and I'm saying it out loud because I want y'all to hold me accountable. Y'all ask me 2 weeks from now, doctor, you still doing what you need to do? Are you working out? Are you fasting? And I'm gonna be like, yeah, I'm on it.
Somebody told you what you said about absolute truth.
That's not true. Well, I didn't say I said
we heard it.
I'm just saying that's what I heard. Somebody told me that yesterday. So I'm let me preface that. I don't know if it's true or not. I guess it's far too late. That's far too late. You can
My bad, Absa.
My bad. I want to put you out there if you ain't out there now. You could also drink green tea. It's very good to lower blood pressure. Somebody told me that too. They told me to drink I got it. Apple cider vinegar. Take a shot of apple cider vinegar every day. Good evening, family. There's a Wikipedia
Why don't you drop the thing back in the chat?
Oh yeah.
The link.
Anybody? Is it load shedding? Because I know one time it was load shedding. Nobody
They were like, nah.
It's not true about ABSA. The fact that ABSA was a amalgamation of 4 banks in the Democratic South Africa. All right. Shout out to Ron there. FNB was the only bank that exchanged my money for free. All right. It means something different. Somebody said the caravan here means something different. A caravan is what you guys refer to as an RV or recreational vehicle. I thought no, a caravan is a traveling, like buku people traveling in the same direction. That's what I thought it was. Yeah, like 4 cars behind each other and they all going the same place and they know they're going the same place.
Wait, is Mo Africa? So he's listing some really great schools. Like,
wait, hold on, let's go to it. Mo Africa, okay.
But wait,
huh?
Mo Africa. Now, are you Mo Africa? Remember when we first started our channel, and we had just like very few. There's just a few South Africans that kind of jumped on and were showing some love. Wasn't Mo Africa one of those people from way back in the day?
Why you will put me on the spot? I well, if it did, well, shout out to Mo Africa then, man. You've been rocking a long time.
That's not. I don't know why it hit me. I was like, wait a second.
Montrose Primary. Okay, given is a government school. All right.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, I interrupted your flow.
No, that's all good. It's not true about ABSA. All right, thanks for the information. Yeah, I'm very ignorant to this topic, but I'm not scared. There ain't nothing wrong with being ignorant. Right? It's the problem is standing. It's not that you're ignorant, it's that you just
exposed.
Lack the knowledge. Because the word ignorant, when you do the etymology of the word, the root word of ignorant is to ignore. INGNOR. And ignoring is an intentional act. Right?
IGNNOR.
Well, you know what I meant. You know what I meant? Yeah, but that's an intentional act. Right? We're not, so lacking the knowledge is not being ignorant per se. That's why you got to kind of know, like when you are purposely, like when somebody bring you the truth.
Right. And
then you be like, man, I ain't listening to that. That's being ignorant. All right. So better than Bank of Durban. And lastly there, he listening to schools.
Yeah.
All right. Dr. Berg explains intermittent fasting on YouTube, explains it very well. All right, if you love beaches because there is no sea in Joburg. The food there is delicious and healthy, really good, a lot there and stayed the same. I'm a yogi. I'm instructing good for your mind, health, and lower your blood pressure. I need to get into yoga or something that's gonna get, because I'm I'm not flexible at all. I'm what would you call me?
What,
Stiff? Yeah. I'm stiff, man. I'm stiff, but
Gotta stretch.
that come from lifting heavy weights for a long time. So my elbows ain't really where they should be. Like my joints ain't really where they should be. Because I think I done probably destroyed a lot of the cartilage in my joints. So I sit there and I
Get some collagen.
collagen. You could take that?
Yeah.
Oh. So what else we want to talk about tonight, Miss Adrian? Ain't nobody
We
jumping
wanted to
on.
talk to the people.
That's what I want
Nobody's
to talk to
jumping
people.
on
Nobody
tonight.
want to jump on.
It's just not one of those nights,
Yeah, they're acting funny.
you know.
They're acting light
That's what
skinned.
it does.
They're acting light skinned, man. So, shout out to the documentary that's coming, man. That's another
Oh
thing that
yeah,
I've been doing. I've been working and interviewing a lot of people, man. Family, there's so many people, African Americans, that are in Johannesburg. I just don't think we realize it because we are wrapped up into this YouTube social media space. So I have a theory of the African American the African Americans that exist in that say, and I call it like it came in three waves. So initially, I was saying there's probably 500 or 600 people in this because there's a group on a WhatsApp group that has probably about 500 or 600 people in it. I've discovered since that there are several other WhatsApp groups with a couple of hundred people, and now they may have some crossover or whatever have you. But then there are people who are not in any of these groups. So the three kind of waves I would say were the direct of African Americans in South Africa. There were some who came directly after the end of apartheid, 95, 96, 97, right? And they've been here. I've talked to people who've been here 25 years, you know. Then there was a second wave that was around 2007, 2008, around when Blacks Without Borders, that documentary came out, right? And now the third wave is the way that I call the social media wave, right? That has really been assisted by the global Black travel movement, which kind of finds its origin around 2013, right? When all of a sudden these Black millennials who were now 21, 22, 23 years old were able to buy a plane ticket and get a passport. And they started kind of in the Dominican Republic, and they did, the Caribbean for a while. Then they started branching off into Europe, and then somebody introduced them to the continent. I mean, we were in Morocco and ran into a group of like 20-year-old sisters from the States, trying to get the angles. You know what I'm saying? So so it's probably about three good waves of African Americans, and there's more here than you know. And the reason why it's more here than you know is because so many of them look like South Africans that you don't know, that you probably pass by African American. I'm theorizing this, yo. This is a theory. You probably pass by an African American every day if you live in Johannesburg, for sure. You probably, if you walk through 4 ways, a Mall of Africa, and I'm gonna tell you why, because I've walked through the Mall of Africa and ran into African Americans and who knew me from YouTube. But had they not known me from YouTube, I wouldn't know them. They wouldn't know me. I would have just assumed that they were some South Africans walking through the mall. True. Yeah. True. So, but the documentary is coming, and I'm finding out so many reasons why people are here. The social media brand or the social media wave is kind of, oh, I came because, it's gotten so bad in America, or I came because I saw a video and I saw the big houses that I could buy that I can't afford in the States. But people are here for so many other reasons. People came because they were working for like the UN, or they were in the State Department back in the States. So many people have married a South African, right? And they are here, and or people who like sisters, or a sister who is a South African, moved to the States, married an African American, and they kind of became bi-coastal and ended up back here. So and then again, those who came after the end of apartheid, who saw this new Black democracy and the opportunity to partake and all of the promises of the new South African government. So many people came for that. And then I think the 2008, those people, that kind of era, they were more inclined to come because of business and opportunity, home buying and stuff like that. So the more I do this, the more I learn about what's going on here. You know, because a lot of times I assume, because I'm a Pan-Africanist, right? I'm a pro-Black revolutionary Pan-Africanist. And a lot of times I think that's why that's why they moved to Africa. You moved to Africa because you pro-Black. That ain't the case.
No.
That ain't the case. Everybody ain't pro. Not that they, what they call them? Not that they sell out or anything. Yeah. That's just not their motivation for their move to South Africa. Some people are here because they saw the opportunity and they may have a capitalist spirit or an entrepreneurial spirit, let's say it like that, an entrepreneurial spirit, and they saw an opportunity in SA. So y'all be on the lookout. I mean, I have about 5 more interviews to do, and I'm really trying to get Asha. So Asha, if you're watching, I know you just came back from the States, but I need to get Asha because I think her story is phenomenal. I would not do the documentary if I can't get Asha on. That's it. If I can't get Asha, I ain't doing it. Because listen,
don't put that pressure on us.
But can you imagine? No cameras. Can you imagine? Okay, Gigi, somebody jumped in here. But can you imagine somebody watching the documentary and seeing Asha, a woman who left the United States, a single woman by herself, and moved across the world? They gone and moved across the world. Right? Do you know the type of motivation that would give somebody? Do you know the type of inspiration that provides for people not wanting to move to South Africa? People want to move from Dallas to Atlanta. If they'd be like, if she can move to South Africa, I can get up and move to Atlanta or whatever have you. So I want that story told. I think it's a phenomenal narrative of strength and courage.
Well, so someone said that there is a football game, big football game on right now. So maybe that's why people aren't jumping.
The World Cup is popping.
Yeah. So I was like, well, you're multitasking. We understand.
I feel you. They trying to watch that game. Y'all betting on them games?
I know, huh? Do y'all bet on these games?
They do. I don't.
It's Germany versus Spain. Who y'all going for?
Yeah, this South Africa. What Germany and Spain got to do with y'all? Still watching. She is different.
No, because if you didn't even though you might watch the NBA finals, even though your city's team is not.
Oh, it's the finals?
Huh?
It's like a soccer finals?
You said something about the World Cup, huh?
Well, that's what the World Cup is, the finals?
Well, I thought the World Cup was like the championship.
I don't know.
Sad. Okay. Just like that.
Shout out to African Queen Giselle. I'm going back and forth from channel and states. Oh man, see, I was trying to wait till they got off. I really did. African Queen, the buku comments.
I know. She said, "How were you able to link up with U.S. folks?" I'm guessing it's U.S. folks.
How was I able to link up? So, how did I link up with U.S. folks? First, I got introduced to there's a group, a WhatsApp group, a very large WhatsApp group, like 500, maybe 600 people in it who are African Americans. So I got introduced to that group, and all right, that brother with the strong name coming on, and then I'm inquisitive. I ask a lot of questions. I would if I talk with somebody, I would say, who else do you think I should talk to? And they'd introduce me to somebody else. Who else do you think I should talk to? They introduce me to somebody else. And I would build that little network. And then there were some people I already knew who were here. So the path of least resistance, I reached out to people who I knew already and hollered at them. Brother Emmanuel, what's happening? What's shaking? Pork chops and bacon. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Why?
Just cool us about football.
Hello, guys.
Yeah, I
Can
can
you
hear
hear
you,
me?
brother. I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. that I can hear you.
All right. Just give me convert to the laptop because I'm struggling.
Okay, no problem. Take your time. Take your time. So they count them because I don't know about soccer.
So the World Cup is a tournament. Gotcha. Germany and Spain are giants of world football. Football is different. Oh, it's a game between two big nations, guys.
Oh, okay.
Football is different. World Cup, you have a favorite country, even if your country is not. Got it.
Is the South Africa in the World Cup? Somebody answer. There you go, answer.
The Falcons playing right now, American football. This is a bad night.
The Falcons playing. The Saints playing today Sunday?
Yeah.
The Saints. I'm from New Orleans, so I used to keep up with the Saints. I don't keep up with them anymore, but the
Yeah,
Falcons
it's
and the
just
Saints
a
are
big
our
night in
rivals.
sports in general.
But they got a lot of people on it. Just ain't nobody want to jump on. Maybe they're watching the
That's what I'm
game.
saying, multitasking.
But yeah, the Saints and the Falcons were big rivals. The city of Atlanta and the city of New Orleans. The Saints come from New Orleans. The Falcons come from Atlanta, and the cities are just rivals. Period.
Oh, it says soccer is like a religion in SA.
I thought it was. Wait a minute. I thought it
SA
was.
said nope. They dismally failed. Oh man.
Who?
Big nation, South Africa, I guess. Big
Oh.
nations like Brazil, Argentina, England, Spain, France. If they are meeting each other, you watch.
Oh, what about? I thought rugby was the game. I thought rugby was South Africa thing. I got two of them. There. It's like football and basketball in the States.
Mm.
So if it's a tournament, so let me ask you this: is it like a tournament? Like sometimes you would have like a basketball tournament, but that doesn't make them the champions. It's just like the tournament. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they wanted so. If somebody wins the World Cup, is that the equivalent of winning the Super Bowl? Meaning, like you the champion for the next year. Period. You the Super Bowl champions. Is that what that means? They laughing now. I see too many smiley faces on that.
Well, no, they're responding to your question. So we don't have a soccer national team. No, we're not. Ghana robbed out on our way to the World Cup. Senegal made it to the next round of the World Cup. South Africa didn't qualify. No, South Africa didn't make it through the qualifying stages. Only Ghana, Cameroon, Senegal, Tunisia, and Morocco are representing Africa. South Africa is not, we're supporting any team that is going to beat Ghana. Damn.
That's cold-blooded. That's cold-blooded, man. You gonna support Germany over Ghana? That's cold-blooded, man.
It's like that. Rugby is number 2 in South Africa, guys. Rugby is not big, but South Africa is good with rugby. Soccer, rugby, and cricket. Wow. Okay.
That's so different.
It is so different.
That's so different.
It really, oh, here he is.
He joined from a laptop. Yeah, that's so different, man. Like those 3 sports are not big at all in the States. Like rugby, cricket, and soccer.
Yeah.
They're just not.
It's different.
There we go. That's one of the differences, like
Mhm.
what sport people find entertaining,
Yeah.
Emmanuel, brother, I know you know, but tell me what your name means.
Oh,
How you guys doing? Hello, Adrian.
hey.
Hello, Dr. Assad.
Hey, brother, how you doing?
Yes, sir. I'm okay, and you guys?
I'm fine, brother. Tell me what that name means, Emmanuel.
The name means God is with us.
God is with us. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I named my son that. I'm telling you, I did.
Middle name, yeah.
His middle name is Emmanuel. God is with us. That's something that we always must remember, big brother. So what's going on? You gonna try to tell me? You gonna try to school me on this soccer, man? Let me know what's going on this soccer.
The score is still not between Germany and Spain, and yeah, so it seems like most people will be watching that right now. But yeah,
what channel is
on? It is on channel 202.
202.
Yes.
And like, how long do the games last? Are they like 2 hours?
It lasts 90 minutes, and Right now, it is 14 minutes played.
It's 14 minutes left or it's 14 minutes late?
It's 14 minutes played right now.
Oh, so it just started. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we went
Yeah.
live at the wrong time. Them people,
Woo, did we?
yeah, it's like going live during the Super Bowl. So, wait, you said the Jamaican brother on there?
Yeah.
What he
it says,
said?
One love to my brother. I'm a Jamaican brother that met you at the dinner yesterday. Keep pushing that positive narrative. Big ups.
That's didn't I tell y'all? Shout out to that brother, man. What's his name on the thing?
Glenn Roy.
Glenn Roy.
Glenn Roy.
Glenn Roy. All right.
I was gonna do the booyaka.
Puyoka, puyoka.
Don't be mad at us, Glenn Roy. We just silly.
Glenn Roy, I'm gonna get back to you, man. But I want to shout out to Glenn Roy. Glenn Roy, since you live in here now, man, we gotta find us a good Jamaican restaurant. So I'll give me some oxtails and some mannish water and some rice and peas. Yeah, we gotta find us a good Jamaican restaurant, brother. But Sarah Jane, do it. Is jumping on.
All right. But Emmanuel, what else is going on?
Yeah, brother, tell me. I want to learn more about the soccer. I'm gonna need one of my South African family to take me out to y'all remember the Brands and Black Hands?
Yes, yes.
Amen.
Zoom in. Bam, bam, bam.
How much is a t-shirt though?
We don't know yet. I think so. I'm gonna be honest with you, brother. There's a brother named Steve who's kind of coordinating all of this. He's putting it together because again, I'm not a business person. I'm an academician and a researcher and just a person who talk real loud. But so a brother putting it together for us, and he's gonna set up everything, and then we'll be like in a little partnership. I'll keep running my mouth about Rands and Black Hands, and we'll try to do so. I don't know what price point he's gonna set them at, but I'm sure it won't be too expensive. Maybe like $20, like $20 US. I don't know what that is in rand. Something like that. I think so,
Okay.
like $25.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's gonna be like something like close to like 300 rands.
That's a lot.
Nah, that's not a lot because most t-shirts like mostly they go around like that much to 600 rands. So yeah,
Okay.
that's like the price, I guess.
That's a good price. Cool. All right. Wait, I want to make sure I acknowledge Sarah Jane Duat.
Yeah,
Dutoit.
Just Sarah.
yeah, there we go. Initially, when you guys said SJ, they kind of SJ they use for short. So Sarah Jane Dutoy, that's how we normally say it.
Toy. Oh, okay.
So it's
And
kind of a mixture of Afrikaans and French. If you know the history, the French Huguenots came to South Africa. So somewhere along the line in my DNA, I got a bit of French there too. So that's where the surname comes from, basically.
Believe it or not, I got some French in me too. That's the
Okay,
truth.
cool. That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, just so with the soccer thing in South Africa, it's soccer, obviously, and it's normally before it used to be like a black sport, basically. So most of the black South Africans love their soccer. And then obviously the
Okay.
World Cup is an international tournament that the world countries basically participate every 4 years. And that's how it works. In our
Is
country, we
every
obviously
4
have
years?
it's every 4 years, yeah. Yeah, and you have to
Wow.
basically qualify to basically be in the tournament. So they have like run-up stages to the tournament, and if you qualify, then you compete against, I'm not sure exactly how many countries, but yeah, there's different pools. They all have to beat each other, get to the qualifying, to the quarterfinals, semifinals, and in the finals. That's how it works.
Okay. So Sarah Jane or Emmanuel, maybe you guys can answer this. So if it's every 4 years, is it like a seat? I'm trying to. So between one World Cup and the next, they're all competing like to have the best record and beat people in order to make it to the World Cup, or
Yeah, they have like qualifying stages basically before the World Cup. So basically, I think it's about a year or two before the World Cup starts. Each country in their regions. So it will be your North European countries that will compete against each other. African countries will compete against each other, and then they'll have to qualify basically based on points and stuff to be able to
Okay.
qualify for the final. which is basically the tournament that's being played now.
Has an African country ever won the World Cup?
No,
Well, I'm rooting for Ghana.
No.
I'm sorry, I gotta go for Ghana. we
That's
gotta
why-
have African
that's
country win the
why
World
we-
Cup.
yeah, no, that's why they basically you support the teams that are there. So if it's an African country, most African countries will support a African country, basically.
All right.
Or if you got an Asian country, most Asian countries will support their country. And then also what happens is you watch the tournament well, that's me anyways. I watch the tournament a little bit to see in the beginning stages who's doing really well. And then I'll support them in the final rounds later on.
Okay.
Whoever I see, whichever team goes further ahead, then you start supporting the teams.
So how long does the World Cup last? Is it like a weekend or is it
No, it's a month. I think
a
it's a month.
month?
Yeah. So currently they have, they currently are in Qatar. The tournament is taking place in Qatar this year. So
Uh-huh.
obviously all the teams have to go to Qatar and basically play each other in that sporting arenas that they've got there.
Oh, so I was thinking like, oh, do they get together like for the Super Bowl Sunday? They have Super Bowl parties
Mhm.
back in the States, and people barbecue and bring food and have a Super Bowl party. But I guess
So we've been asked multiple times in the chat to quit calling it soccer and to call it football.
Okay, well, soccer, football, either way. In South Africa, we know it as soccer as well. So
y'all know
football
that's soccer
is
too.
American football in South Africa. Yeah, in South Africa, it's soccer, football, either one. But yeah, internationally, it's football, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. We know that. So we like, yeah, American football is just that. I mean,
That's what it is.
it is.
Yeah,
what
and
we
I
call-
noticed like with the Americans, you guys think your how can I say, your tournament is like this world thing, which I find weird because you guys are like, oh, it's the Super Bowl, and you think other countries are participating, but it's only you guys that are participating
Yeah.
in there. Like,
Well,
No,
that's
I
the-
don't
like
think
other countries there.
I've
in
never
there.
thought other countries cared about
But
football.
yeah,
I always kind of knew it was just our thing.
but I think we
Okay.
make it big because it's always on. Is I think it's broadcast to different countries though.
Is it?
Yeah, it's not broadcast just in the U.S. It's broadcast all
Yeah.
over the world. But it is that's that American,
It's like we're
arrogance and
pretty insular.
yeah. So I don't think a lot of people realize like in the U.S. we don't know much about. Not I'm gonna say all of us, right? But the vast majority of Americans don't think about anything outside of the U.S. Right?
Okay.
Dr. Assad, like if I may please, you are scaring me because the US is competing in the World Cup, and for the fact that you are not aware of soccer, it makes
Hey,
me wonder if you are supporting the US right now.
I bet you I can call 50, especially black folk. I can call 50 black folk right now and ask them, do you know that the US is competing in the World Cup? And they'll be like, what is the World Cup, man? I'm telling you, soccer, let's see, what do we call it?
Football.
Football here.
Football.
Football here is not big in the States. It's just not. Like
But I think
American
you guys
football.
are getting there though.
It's
Well,
growing.
it
I
is
think
growing.
awareness is growing.
Well, they have that term like
Yeah.
soccer mom, like moms who take their kids to kind of play soccer and stuff like that. But in particular, so the sports in the United States are dominated by African Americans. NFL is dominated by the African Americans. NBA dominated by African Americans. Baseball is a dying sport. It used to be America's biggest sport. It's a dying sport, but even that sport is dominated by Black Dominicans and our brothers and sisters from Central and South America. So, and with that being said, the athletes that are being recruited and the athletes are interested in certain sports, basketball, football. That's the
Yeah.
people who are making,
Millions.
$500 million, to play. And I
Yeah.
know that boy, what's his name? He was a white boy that played soccer. He was famous.
Beckham?
Yeah, like we know
Yes,
he made a lot
bought
of
one
money.
of the teams.
He's still
But
playing?
wasn't he also? No, he's not playing, but wasn't he
Oh.
also like in one of the teams, the soccer teams there in America? What was it?
LA
Galaxy
Galaxy.
or something? Yeah, LA
LA
Galaxy.
Galaxy.
He was
Yeah.
there. He was playing in an American team, in a soccer team in America. One of your
Maybe that's why
local
we
teams.
ended up knowing his
guys that
name. Yeah. Maybe that's why we ended up because and I'm gonna tell you the only like other soccer person I know was Pele. You know what I'm saying? That's how much soccer we don't know. But like I said, so kids are growing up wanting to get those NBA contracts, those NFL contracts for $120 million and stuff like that. I think if they saw soccer players making, I don't know what soccer players make, but if they saw soccer players making signing contracts for 200 mil, you will see black kids in the streets playing too, and also having that type of representation. Like I can't think of a famous African American soccer player, right? So,
But it stems then at the schools level, because if your schools and your districts are playing soccer and having little tournaments, and then the scouts get to see them, and they
That's
then
true.
obviously see
Mhm.
the rest of the talent that's out there. Because that's in South Africa, to be a soccer player, we know the big team guys, the Ronaldos and the big guys that do play, Messi from Argentina and all of that. So all those guys are super rich and driving the nicest cars and whatever. So that's one of the goals that some of the South African guys also want to do. They also want to play for an international club overseas, in the UK specifically. That's where the money is. Playing the club league. It's not necessarily playing for your country to make your money. It's the clubs that pay you the money. And it's normally the English football clubs that pay really good.
okay. Well, thank you
Yeah.
so much, Sarah Jane.
Yeah, for the educational session.
Yeah. I need one of my
Yeah, I
South
just have
African brothers to invite me out to watch some World Cup with them so they can explain to me
What's happening?
what's happening. Because I don't know. All I see is men kicking this little
You should
ball
maybe
back and
just
forth.
watch the final. That will be the great one, because everybody will be watching that. Just the final. So
will.
that will be the good. Yeah, just watch the final at least. We don't know who's going to be there, but at least the final. Everyone will be watching somewhere in the country. Everyone will be watching that game.
I might go out to
Ooh.
social. I'm sure they'll be watching.
Yeah,
it
you
at
got to
social.
watch it where other people are, so you can get that energy.
And so I can ask questions
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
What happened?
So
what what flag did
what's
they call
going?
or whatever?
Yeah,
do they throw flags
And
like
we-
in American football?
absolutely. Depending on the team that you support. So yeah, they everyone gets that moment. I think this year it's a bit dull though. I won't lie. There's lots of people that's not as excited about the Soccer World Cup this year, because there was a lot of corruption mentioned before they started the whole tournament. But soccer in general is a sport that most South Africans watch, and specifically the Black South African people. So
Well, Sarah Jane, thank you
Ooh.
so much. And now look at that.
I just
And
have
the
one
analysts of-
question.
Go ahead, your
Yes.
question.
I know that the Real South Africa had a real estate tour here, or still is having them here. Was any of them at the meetup? I know I wasn't there, but did they come to the meetup? Because some of them are fairly new to South Africa, so it would have been nice to know if they were there.
Well, I talked to what's his name, Red Grade 8. I call him Red, right? The Grade 8
Yes.
brother
Yeah.
from. So I
Yeah.
met the brother in the Atlanta airport. I was walking through and he was sitting down and he waved at me, and I was like, what's going on? Because we in the States, what's going on? Yeah. Anyway, and he walked up to me, he was like, I follow you, and then I looked at him, and I see him on Red and Stacy's stuff, and then another brother. So as we went to the terminal to get ready, waiting to board the gate, another brother from Florida, I'm gonna call him Mr. G. He came up to me because I actually met him in New Orleans. But I invited Red or Great 8. I invited him out, but I think they were preoccupied. And then Mr. G, he actually was flying out to I think he was going to maybe Safari or something. He left this
Yeah, I think they have pretty
Saturday
packed
morning.
schedules.
Yeah, I think their schedules were packed or whatever have you. But
Okay.
we every month. So
Oh,
somebody
okay.
will be
Yeah,
back
no, I
in-
was just checking, because there's quite a big group of Americans here.
It was.
I've
Let me
actually,
tell you.
yeah, it was a very big group. Yeah.
So Atlanta is that hub. You know, Atlanta has the busiest airport in the world. And it was the first time that I walked and I saw all of these like black folk, like people of color getting ready to get on the plane to head to South Africa. Most of the time it is not that way. And a lot of those people, there was actually 3 different tour groups. So there was the Real South Africa and their real estate group. There was another person named Kiana. Her nickname is Pusha Key. She has a totally separate group. I don't think she's heavy on YouTube, but she's heavy on other social media. And she had a group of people, maybe about 8 people or something like that, coming. I don't know. I don't know the numbers, but it was a whole separate group of people. So there was the Real South Africa, the Pusha Key sister, and then another group, right? And I was like, this is amazing. Like, and they all coming from different sources. Like, it's not, you know, is someone coming for the Real South Africa, someone coming for Pusha. It's just amazing that so many people are now opening their eyes and their minds and to the opportunity that exists in South Africa, man. It is, you know, but I told you guys, like, maybe in 2019, like, it's like, I think South Africans in general really don't know the gem that they hold or that they have, you know, like,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's an amazing place.
And I must say though, a lot of the YouTubers are helping. And I want to say thanks to you guys, the real South Africa as well, Asha as well. Like, you guys have really opened a lot of all of the other avenues. And I think what you guys are doing, more than just bringing like the African Americans here, you're making us proud of our own country. Because me being overseas, and I came back and I realized what we had doesn't make the same intention when you guys go, and you guys as non-South Africans are coming here and making us proud of our own country. And that's what's really great. And I think that's why we can really like be proud to say, welcome everybody with open arms, because I think we as South Africans, we're negative about our own country for its own reasons, but we need to start being more appreciative, because if you guys can see what we can't, we need to see it for ourselves. So thanks very much for that, though.
Well, we thank South Africans for the warm welcoming that we receive everywhere we go. I don't care where we go, as soon as we open our mouths, and I'm always loud, they are, you American, you know, and it's just, oh, you know, welcome to the country, welcome home, all of this stuff. Yeah, so we definitely thank South Africans for the warm welcome. And we feel right at home, and we tell each other, we went on a walk before we got on this live. We're like, we're not ever going back. So
Inshallah.
never
That's
leaving.
good to know. But yeah, really keep up the good work, guys. You guys are doing great stuff, and in your small way, you really are doing great stuff, guys.
Man, I really appreciate that, Sarah Jane. I really do. You said you were overseas for a while. Where were you?
I was in Thailand.
Oh, okay.
But not long. Couple of weeks. And it made me miss my own country, to be honest with you. As nice as the beaches are there, and as friendly as the people are there, I missed my own country. I just wanted to come back home. So and I can say they is a little island that basically supported by tourism only. And if you look at it nicely, we've got actually better beaches. Some of our beaches can actually rival any of those beaches that's there. As beautiful as people say they are, so we can rival them just as much. And why are we not promoting it in that way to the rest of the world for them also to see? And I didn't realize it until I actually came back, that listen, guys, you know what, our country's actually got, it does have what we should be actually promoting out there. Not just our land and our beauty, but like you say, and most people say, the people in itself make the country what it is. So, and you guys are just promoting that, and it's really appreciative. Absolutely, very appreciative.
South Africa should.
Where the fuck?
Are you still here, brother?
I'm still here. Sorry.
No, I was seeing if Emmanuel was still here. I was making out. We got off.
Oh, the Zoom went off. Sorry, it just got stuck now.
Oh. It's saying mine. So Emmanuel, then he might be watching the game.
No, I'm here. I'm here watching the game.
Oh, there
Thanks,
is.
guys. It's nice for the chat.
Definitely, sir. Pleasure talking to you, brother.
Thanks,
brother Emmanuel.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, man. I got caught up in a whole nother conversation, but I'm sorry. So
No worries, no worries. I enjoyed listening though, because
yeah, man.
yeah.
So tell me more about this soccer. But before I say that, let me tell you, about maybe 10 years ago or more, it might have been pre-Katrina, like pre-2005. Essence, which is a big magazine in the States, does a festival in New Orleans that brings about 800,000 people to the city of New Orleans every year. And Essence went to Durban and was going to and did a Essence Music Festival. They did at least one. I don't know if they had multiple years of it, but I know they did at least one, the Essence Music Festival in Durban. And I think that is something that the government of South Africa should revive again. Here's why. Black people like that type of travel, like Black Americans. They love that. I'm going to a concert type of travel. I'm gonna go see, like Essence will have Beyonce, Mary J. Blige. Like one night it'll have Beyonce, the next night it'll be like Mary J. Blige. Well, I'm saying like one night it would be Beyonce and then a whole bunch of like other stars. Beyonce.
Yeah, but she's the headliner.
She's the headliner, but it'll be a whole list of stars. And then the next night, Mary J. Blige with a whole other list of stars. And then the final night, somebody else. And I think that is so appealing to because it's like, well, if I don't like the place, at least I know I'm gonna have a good time going to this concert. I'm gonna see my favorite artist. So if anybody from South African government listening, bring back the Essence Fest. Or it don't even have to be Essence Fest. Create a festival. Like I know they had the Delicious Festival. It was something it was called.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
We did hear about that one.
They had the Delicious Fest with Burna Boy, but a nice festival with a whole bunch of like neo soul and R&B artists. Keep that rap out. That's gonna bring gangsters. But neo soul and R&B artists, yeah, that'll be fire. That'll be fire. You'll see first year 100,000 people come just for that event. But
I
tell me
totally
more
agree
about
with that. Yeah, I totally agree with that, Dr. Assad, because like music does actually like bring us all together, like through our various walks of life, you know.
right.
Yeah. And I heard you one day you were speaking about Jill Scott.
You say I was speaking about Jill Scott or
Yeah.
Gil Scott? Gil Scott, the poet, or Jill Scott, the singer?
The singer, Jill Scott Heron.
Oh, yeah, big facts.
Yeah.
Big facts. The
Yeah.
brilliant, great philosophical poet slash musician slash artist slash activist slash revolutionary, Gil Scott
Yeah.
Heron. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I come
The
from that
music-
tradition.
Yeah.
I was a poet before I was a loudmouth YouTuber.
Oh, okay. Now I see where the bam bam does come from, actually. Some poetry in it.
Yeah.
The people want the link.
Oh, they want the link?
People want the
Let me
link.
put the link in there.
The link.
Hold on. 1 second.
Where is the link?
Well, we got some comments, brother. Maybe we'll go over these
LA.
comments.
LANK.
Let's see. You want to go over some of the comments? I know I missed a lot.
You have missed a lot. A lot of people saying that's a great idea. Let me see. South Africans have to start appreciating what they have. That's Josie Gold.
Thanks, Josie. Shout out to Josie Gold.
Yeah, Pusha Key is a cute name. I like that one too.
Pusha
No
Key is a
words.
cute name. Oh.
No words aside, I'm loud too. I'm working on my loudness. Oh goodness. I agree with the speaker. Kudos to the American YouTubers. And yes, your videos have kept me in touch with my own country. I shall be home in a few weeks after being gone for 3 years and 9 months.
Where you at like that?
Bev, you've been away a long time.
Where you at? Why you left?
It's the political part of our country that causes these doubts, I think. Our leaders are disappearing, though. They can do better. Okay, maybe disappointing.
Disappointing, yeah. That's
Queen Key is staying for another month. The Joburg bug got her.
Matter of fact,
It
shout out
does
to
that.
Queen Key. She and I just had an email exchange like day before last.
Queen Key. John Mooney, hello from San Antonio. Uh-oh.
San Antonio. That was G from San Antonio. San
I
Antonio, right?
definitely agree. A concert travel will bring a lot of African Americans.
That's how we travel. That's why we like to
Spend that
do.
money too.
Yeah, and we're gonna stay at the best hotels.
Yes, yes,
It was
yes.
if they got a Hyatt, not what they call it, the Four Seasons and the what you call it, the Ritz and all that type of stuff. Yeah, that's how. That's think about Ghana did it. Ghana had the year to return, but a whole lot of black folk wasn't coming all year. They had that final big concert. Whole bunch of black. The mayor of my city, we had people dying in a building. Seriously, we had people dying in a building. They was dead in a building, and she got on the plane and said, "Well, I'll deal with that when I come back." I'm going to Ghana for this concert.
Titi.
Titi out of control.
Mayor Titi.
But yeah, that's how Ghana did it. Take a cue. And I haven't been to Ghana, but I'm let me say I've gotten good word that there are better things popping in South Africa than in Ghana. No disrespect to Ghana, no disrespect, but I think that there's a lot more. There's better infrastructure here, right? It's more familiar to African Americans, so
affordable too.
more affordable. If there was a big concert, a Beyonce concert with, but not, it can't just be like can't be billed as a Beyonce concert, because that's gonna bring out South Africans. It has to be billed as something like a big festival that, because they go, black Americans go all to the Caribbean for festivals, so it has to be billed like a festival, whereas Beyonce and Bruno Mars and Drake, you get Drake here,
Drake.
half the light-skinned women in the United States gonna leave. They gonna come. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So they have the Cape Town Jazz Fest in December. That's the thing. Bev said she's in Vancouver. By the way, you
Okay.
asked.
I'm still on here, family. If y'all can hear me, I'm still on here. I'm just
Right,
adjusting.
right. And a lot of you asked for the link. The link is in the chat.
I'm about to put it back in that thing again. 1
So
second.
like jump on before we get tired and jump off. Okay.
He
Great
said
idea.
Ghana has Afro Chiller. That's right.
Yeah. Don't forget the all white party. Oh geez.
We like an all white party. Stop playing. We like an all white party. Man, black Americans love an all white party. Hey boy, what an all white party? Man.
Any excuse to have all white party.
Puffy did it. We blame Puffy. Puffy introduced the world he introduced black people to an all white party. And it just was, they had club nights, a whole white club night. And you just got to wear all white from head to toe.
Yeah. Oh yeah, COVID did happen. With
Oh,
COVID
yeah.
now over, some concerts will definitely be popping up.
You let
I
Texas
forgot.
tell it, COVID been over. It ain't even happened. But yeah, COVID, yeah, it's definitely something gonna pop up. White isn't only white people. No. Everybody dressed all white from head to toe. White shirt, white pants, white shoes, white everything, white hat. It's an all white party. And then some of them were so strict they wouldn't let you in if you had a splash of color. Then my partner Jeff in New Orleans, he changed that. He had an all white party with a splash of color. You could only have like one extra color. You could only have one extra color, whether it be if you had on a white sport coat, you could have a red rose or something on your lapel, but that's it. That's it. Yeah, that black people be serious about an all white party.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. We should do an all white party here.
Oh,
Get us a DJ, do an all white party.
there's some great venues here though. It would be fun.
Yeah. I just want to visit and figure out if retirement is possible. Meet the people. William White, you got to come. You got to come and visit. And is retirement possible? Absolutely. There's a specific visa for that. It's called a retirement visa. And I promise you, I don't know William White. I don't know where you are. Unless you are in like Hodunk, Idaho, your retirement money will go a lot further here than it will in the United States. They say we need to come to Durban in July. I swear, people.
Let's see.
Somebody say never wore a mask. I had any hand sanitizer before or after. That's Texas, man. Texas don't play that, man. Texas didn't believe in COVID. Like it was a religion. I don't believe in COVID. But what else we got? Cape Town Jazz Festival. So what I'm saying is it can't. Okay, so we know they got the Jazz Fest. They have the Jazz Fest here, but it has to be something that's specifically marketed and advertised to the
Yeah.
U.S. So like I think the Cape Town Jazz Fest, I'm sure it brings like jazz lovers and people from all over the world, and I'm sure there's some. But for it to be like a black, and I think that's why the connection to
Yeah.
Essence was important, because Essence is a black woman's magazine, right? So it was like we're doing this festival in New Orleans or whatever have you, and then they did it in Durban. I don't know what happened
Yeah,
thereafter.
specific people marketing the year of the return too. So
Right.
there was like,
That
yeah.
that's how smart Ghana was. Ghana got like B level, you know, you got your A list, where they really got like C and D list celebrities. You know, people that's famous, but they're not famous. They not Will Smith and Brad Pitt famous, but they black people famous. You know what I'm saying? There are some actresses and actors. What's her name? Boris Kojo, the actor Boris Kojo and his wife Nicole, right? They got those people to they got them and so many others to make a push on social media for the year of the return. Ghana was brilliant in what they did, and South Africa can just copy, paste, and do the exact same thing, and it will be even more successful. I mean, Ghana did it around the year of the return. So that was very specific, and it was very brilliant how they put that together. But South Africa can come up with something very similar, but it won't be around, obviously, the year of the return. But it could be something, because in the year of return pulled on the heartstrings of Black Americans too. You know, just think about that. We've been gone 400 years, and oh wow, somebody is inviting us
It's
home.
been 400 years.
Yeah, somebody inviting us home. Oh man, it pulled on the heartstrings of Black Americans. But they still ain't go. They didn't go until they said they're gonna have this concert.
Right.
All right, Josie Go. All right. We got Focus and Josie Go.
Focus. All right.
All right, my leg's starting to hurt. There's
You
this shit
know,
right here. Hold on a
we
second.
got to realign ourselves.
Shit, my body. Ooh. All right. They still connecting, Josie
Oh
Golden. now.
goodness. Now, there's somebody in the chat talking about no, Adrian looks colored. Right? Now how I look colored.
But Pearl Tusi
But
though.
Pearl Tusi, a whole Zulu. She 100% Zulu, but I look colored.
Josie
I need
Go.
somebody to explain this to me.
Well, I think colored is Focus, brother Focus, or who Focus is connecting. All right.
You know, like that sounds a bit funny because even me as well, I wanna know how does Pearl Tusi be described as black and and Adrian be described as colored as well.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't know, but if I watch Blood and Water, the guy who plays Wade on Blood and Water,
yeah.
he is colored, right? And he's not light skinned. He don't have curly colored hair, but he is colored. And because I watched I follow him on the Instagram, and either Instagram or YouTube, and they had he took us to his neighborhood, and growing up colored, and I think he speaks Afrikaans if I'm not mistaken. But so I think it's that I don't know why they,
I don't know.
because I thought Pearl Tusi was
Things that
mixed.
make you go,
I thought she was like I thought she was like Trevor Noah,
Me too.
right? And the strange thing is this: Trevor Noah, yeah, we know he's mixed because we know his story. But if Trevor Noah was born in the U.S., he would just be another light-skinned black man. I mean, and he wouldn't even have to be mixed. He wouldn't even have. And then
the hair wouldn't necessarily. Yeah.
No, because he don't have like straight. He don't have
Yeah, that's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. Because
yeah.
of the hair, I don't think that people would be like, oh, he's
Mixed.
mixed.
No, it's just like he's black.
Like,
Barack
audio
Obama.
breaking.
right?
We know Barack Obama had a white mama, and they wouldn't dare say they some of the racists are trying to say, well, he is biracial. He ain't never claimed to be biracial. We know his mama, but Barack, he a black man because that's the way America has designed their system. You know, there was no in between. If you got a black parent, you go fall in that category, sit in the back of the bus, go pick that cotton, boy. You know what I'm saying? So
All right.
all right.
Josie Gold.
Josie Gold, focus. Both of y'all on here. What's happening? Focus, can you hear me?
Yeah, Dr. Sad, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, brother. Josie left.
Oh, yeah,
Focus.
yeah, like I was in. Yeah, can you hear me, Dr. Sad?
Gotcha. I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't actually know what you guys were talking about, but I just wanna be in first, then yeah.
Hey, bro, I didn't know what I was gonna talk about either when I got on here. Either. So it's all right with me. I just wanted to holler at my South African people, man.
Right.
Yeah, so it's
All right.
it's
No,
all
the thing is that I've been trying to actually log into the meeting, so I don't know the topic that you are on right now. So that's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, okay. Well, you can talk about anything you like, brother.
Oh yeah, like the thing that I'm actually interested in right now, like it's like I've been reading about this Kyrie Irving thing and the anti-Semitic thing. You know, those are the things that I've been quite reading about. Like I'm actually reading about a whole lot of things about the U.S. right now, about the Kanye West thing, the Kyrie Irving thing. You know, there's just a whole lot of things that are happening in the U.S. right now. You know, and that's the thing that I can actually touch on right now because I'm actually reading about those things like most of the time. You know, so right now at the moment, from my side, what do you think about the Kyrie Irving thing?
Man, that's an interesting question. So, do I think a brother should be canceled because he made a social media post that didn't say anything? By no means at all. But we got to know the history between blacks and Jews in the United States. I think that's at the root of all of this is the history between blacks and Jews in the United States. We got a lot of stuff going around about black people being the Hebrew Israelites. I don't deny that. I don't deny that some black people, I mean, we know the history. We know that the assaults from the Assyrians and the Babylonians and all of those people that was coming from the east of Jerusalem, the east of Israel, and pushing people into the physical body of the continent of Africa. So I'm with that. They got Jews in Ghana, they got Jews right here in South Africa, the Lemba people. So yeah, so I think he's more. All right. Yeah, so we know that that's real, but I think at the heart of the Kyrie Irving and even the Kanye West situation is a relationship between blacks and Jews. So here's the thing. During segregation, right, when black people couldn't go into white people's stores, the one exception was that Jews would allow black people to buy from them. And in our minds, we thought that meant they were our allies. Think about it. They didn't always, and then you had Jews, so let's be clear, you had Jews who died as freedom riders, right? They were killed and murdered. They came from the north and they were coming into the south, working with black people as freedom riders. So there was a relationship there, but the root of the real root of that relationship was that Jews would allow black people to buy from their stores, and we thought that meant that they were our allies. It only meant that they were capitalists, right? And they saw a market that was being denied. So in my city of New Orleans, for instance, there was a street that used to be called Dryad Street. Dryad Street was a street that was on that had a lot of Jewish stores, shops, and we were allowed to shop in those shops when we were not allowed to shop on the main street like Canal Street. Canal Street was the main street, right? So with that being said, I think this time is is an opportunity to re-examine the relationship between blacks and Jews. We can have a relationship. I say that about regular white people. We can definitely have a relationship, but it won't be the slave master relationship. It won't be the slave and master relationship. Those days are over. We can have a relationship, but it won't be the capitalist and the exploited. It won't be the exploiter and the exploited relationship between blacks and Jews. It has to be a relationship based on reciprocity and love and mutual respect.
Yeah.
And I think as we continue to watch how this stuff played out, because remember, 3 weeks ago, Kanye was crazy, Kyrie Irving was crazy, but as they saw them,
And they don't
as they
crazy.
saw the backlash coming from corporations and Anti-Defamation League and all of these people, black folks say, wait, hold up, wait a minute, y'all going too far now. Y'all wait a minute now, y'all doing this man dirty. He got out there and he apologized. Then they want him to kowtow and bow, and what's this boy's name? Shannon Sharp said it was a process of emasculation taking place, right? You want to emasculate this man in public, right? So
yeah,
the pushback became real from the black community. So as my algorithm on YouTube started showing me, and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, and just reading different people's things, you saw black people saying, well, I don't agree with what Kanye said, but y'all going too far. I don't agree with what Kyrie Irving said, or I don't agree with everything in the documentary, which I haven't seen the documentary, so I can't say whether I agree with anything in it or not. I'm Muslim anyway. Let's keep it real, right? So, we saw people saying, y'all going too far, y'all doing too much. And in many ways, what Kanye said, they begin to prove by the way, the response and backlash, Kanye said some things, and the actions that took place after he said those things, in many ways, validated what he was saying. And that became so obvious to people. They were like, wait a minute, you said Jews controlled the media, Kanye. And then all of a sudden, he off social media. We will cancel his accounts. We will ban his accounts and all this. And it became apparent to many people. But anyway, so.
Yeah, like the other thing that I actually realized is that there's a whole lot of things going on in the US. Like we as South Africans, to be honest, when we look at USA, like we see USA as this, as this nice place. And yes, it's very nice, but according to how I've realized, USA, it's actually messed up according to how I see things. Like these white people, like they're actually doing quite a lot of things to black people in a way. Hello?
Yeah, okay.
Am I still there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like what I've actually realized about the US is that the reason why a lot of people are moving to South Africa is because of what's happening right now in the US. Like when you are a black person in the US, you're not actually safe. Like right now at the moment, I was reading about there's this guy called, I think his name is Nicholas Cruz, like the guy who did the shooting at the high school and whatnot. Is it Nicholas Cruz? Yeah, like I've realized that in the US, like a lot of things are happening. Like right now, we as South Africans, we might think that maybe South Africa is not a good place. Maybe we have a lot of crime, we have a lot of this and that. But to be honest with you, like the US is worse than South Africa. Like if we can just be honest and just face reality, the things that are happening in the US, they're very, very scary. Those people are owning the world, to be honest. If we can just be honest, they think that they own the world. Right now, at the moment, fortunate enough, we have this thing called the G7. We have the G7 and the NATO. I think it's actually one thing, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have the BRICS. So I think right now the issue is with.
We lost him. But
he's on a roll too.
He was. Sip away.
It's hi.
What's going on, brother? Did I get it right? Did I say it right?
P-way. You don't. It's actually S-I-P. The I is silent most of the times. P-way.
P-way. Okay.
Yes. Cool.
Say hi, Adrian.
Hi, Adrian. My wife is saying I
Hello.
should say hi,
To
Adrian.
Adrian, the
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Okay, I'm gonna touch on Audrey first, but then I wanted to continue on what or to add on what Focus was talking about in terms of America. But I'll keep it short and polite. Look, when I look at the USA, I see them as the bullies of the world. Bullies, actually, you know, and what else? And I think I wanted to take my children to Disney, but I'm afraid of the police, especially as a
Let-
black person.
Let me say this:
And,
the police, the police are definitely something to always concern yourself with as an African Black presenting person in the United States, right? I think that also there's a lot of internalized fear that African Americans have that comes from the history of our relationship with law enforcement. But I still wouldn't let that stop you from taking your children to Disney World, right? I
Yeah.
think that is, you know,
I-
something, number one, taking them abroad is just an experience, right? They get to see a different world, different place.
Yeah.
But Josie, I'm gonna get to you once I see you say your connection is cutting. But I would always be aware. And let me tell you this. You know, I don't think 100% of police officers, I don't even know the number, 100% of police officers are bad or going to shoot and kill you if you have an interaction with them. The vast majority of interactions between police officers and all citizens of all colors end in a ticket and a go on about your way, right? It is those very serious, even though they are not often these very they're often enough, they're too often, right? But these serious interactions that make the news, like the George Floyds and the Mike Browns, or there's so many other Sandra Bland's or whatever have you, that just remind us of the history. You know, I say this all the time. I grew up in a city that's majority African American, and the police were majority African American, right? So we had the same interaction, you know, that I guess I would experience here in SA, because when I get pulled over and I see that black cop getting out of that car, I'm like, at least I know he won't kill me, right?
Uh-huh.
He may have
fear.
Yeah, I don't fear, he doesn't fear me because I'm black.
Right.
At least in the same ways that white folk may fear me because I'm black or hate me because I'm black. So
Yeah.
and to your point about America being the bully of the world, big facts, big old facts. America spends more on their military than the next, I think, 20 countries combined or something like that. That's what America has, the big guns. America doesn't have the smartest people. America doesn't have or whatever have you. Like, there's so many Asian countries that do better, students who do better in math and science and whatever have you. But America has studied war. America has studied violence, right?
Yep.
And they have perfected it. Believe that.
True.
They perfected that. So that's why they throw their weight around. Josie Gold says South Africa needs to learn from the US. There's some things that you can learn. There are definitely some things you can learn. Then there's some things that you want to definitely not embrace by any means. You know, I'm an American and I'm definitely pro guns. I am pro. It's our Second Amendment, right?
Yeah, I have the same sentiments, especially with Cleveland.
I'm pro strap, but I say that with this, I don't think South Africa should embrace that level of gun ownership, because we see what happens, right? An 18-year-old can walk into a shop, and he's almost thinking of getting a gun, but an 18-year-old can walk into a shop and buy a gun, but he can't buy a pack of cigarettes, right? And he can go into a school and he can shoot 15 people.
Actually,
right?
that part is surprising.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
I
you
don't know
can
how
get a
they
gun
are.
at 18 years old in the United States and in Texas and in Louisiana and
Without
Mississippi.
any checks, nothing, just your ID.
Oh yeah, that's all you need is your ID. And you can walk
Yeah.
around with your, oh no, they do FBI background checks. So, but it doesn't mean it's gonna stop you from getting the gun. Like if you don't have any open charges and
Yep.
anything like that, they're gonna give you the gun and you can walk around with it on your hip, all in
Okay.
public, walking in Walmart, speaking to people. Hey, yeah.
So quickly, don't you think that some of the wars that are caused by America are also religious because of Christian against Islam, sort of things?
Say that one more time.
I'm saying, don't you think that some of the wars, besides the oil issues that America is chasing after in the what is that? Is it Eastern regions? Don't you think some of the war, part of it is also a religious
Nah,
thing?
they don't care nothing. Man, they play that role. America don't care nothing about no religion, man. They friends with the Saudis, huh?
Okay.
They allies with the Saudis. They care about that oil, man. They care about
Okay.
money. If you don't understand anything else about the United States, understand this. Money is the only thing that matters. Period.
Okay, I get it. Okay, last question, last
Capitalism.
point, and then I'm done. To Adrian. Adrian, at
No,
some point, oh,
She left.
she
Adrian
left.
just left to go put the babies to bed, but she'll be
Okay.
right back in 2 minutes.
All right. Okay, it's
You want me
fine.
to pass a message to her?
Now, I was saying at some point, we once thought that Pearl Tusi was colored.
Oh,
she
I
did
thought
a
she was
few
mixed.
people
Yeah.
as well.
So
For her to think, for them
they're
to think
thinking
that
that
she
she's
looks
colored.
like a colored.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Well, we thought, I definitely thought she was mixed, but I see my brother. Thank you, my brother. Now I see my brother
Thank you.
Easy. What's happening?
Hey, my brother, how are you?
Man, I'm good. How's everything?
I'm good. I'm good. Where do I start? Let me start by saying what I'm gonna say about America. I'm talking about now maybe the system itself, right? I'm not talking
Yes,
about
yes,
the people,
yes.
Talk
right?
to H.
America is to me, America is a lizard disguised as an alligator.
Ooh. Say that one more time. She a lizard disguised as an alligator.
It's a lizard disguised as an alligator.
Now break that analogy down for me, brother. Tell me why you say it like that.
Okay, they are not big, but they play big. And they are, I think they are good. If there was something about marketing, they are good with marketing. They can sell themselves. They oversell themselves. As a system, they will tell you something that is not, or that is almost, but that is not. So those are the few things I've learned and I've seen, because if you don't agree with them, they antagonize you.
Exactly.
They go against you. They go for you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That you know, and that is not only an American government thing, that is the way the American mindset is, because the government is only a reflection of the people. That is the cultural mindset of the America is very smart, evil, but smart. I give you that. America is smart, and in many ways it has done a lot of evil on this planet. I mean, Hiroshima, Nagasaki, the slave trade, the extermination of Native Americans. You know, the list goes on. President Obama dropped 25,000 bombs on the continent of Africa in 1 year. So we know that that America has its but yeah, as you say, America is, I don't know if it's no lizard though. I don't know. I think it's alligator or a crocodile, because she will bite.
I think it's a lizard.
You say that?
It's a lizard, I think. So,
think
but it is a lizard, but it shows itself as an alligator. And then everyone sees an alligator and they get scared. You know, yeah. So, yeah.
I look at the United States, and I made this post maybe 2 days ago about what's actually taking place, and the brother Focus, who dropped off, I wanted to touch on it with him. What's taking place culturally in the United States is that America has gone from a true democracy to a kleptocracy and to a hedonocracy, meaning hedonism is at the root of the entire culture. The pursuit of pleasure, the pursuit of whatever pleasure you're into, and mainly the pursuit of capital, right? Cupidity, the love of money, even if you have to get it by nefarious means. And I think that has so as I always say, the United States on paper is beautiful. We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal and endowed by their creator with certain unalienable rights, and among those a life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Man, that's beautiful when you look at what America says on paper. But America has never lived up to its ideals. America has never lived up to what it has written on paper, right? When they were writing those words that all men are created equal, Black people were slaves, right? And so I think what is now happening is that, as Brother Malcolm said, is the chickens are coming home to roost. So you see a lot of stuff taking place in America that you would never think would take place in the most powerful nation on earth. And you see a great realignment. BRICS, the brother mentioned BRICS, right? You see this alignment right now. China and Russia are working on a currency, right? And that currency will challenge the US dollar. And if it is successful, it will cripple the United States economy. Now, here's the point where I say about lizard versus alligator. If it comes to that point where that economy becomes crippled, the United States will go to war. They will start a war. They won't say it. The war start because they're starting this war because of this new currency from China and Russia. They're going to find some other reason, whatever it is, and they will start a war. And and slip the world into World War III. And then other countries get pushed and bullied, right? And they get bullied, pushed in a certain way because they're like, do we really want a World War III? No, we don't, because the war is never fought in the United States, right? You see what I'm saying? The war is never fought really in the US. So it'll be Europe that'll take the brunt of it. It'll be Africa that'll take the brunt of it. Places in the Middle East that'll take the brunt of it. So these countries will then say, wait, we don't want this war. So how can we appease the United States? How can we appease them? What do we need to do? The US says we need to put sanctions on this country, then we're gonna put sanctions on it. You see how it works?
You see?
Yeah.
And now, I just want to close that one and just jump straight into the Jews. Into the Jews.
Man, y'all gonna get me banned from YouTube, man. Look at
Into the Jews. Like, this story of Jews. Just the way I think the term Jews is not, it has been coined now to be a what? A biological definition. It's not. It's a religious definition of people that are following Judaism.
True.
Yes,
So
it's not. No. Now I was watching this other channel. Who's that guy? Go Black to Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, he's hosting. He's in Zimbabwe. He was in Zimbabwe having hosting these other people, the Lembe tribe. You remember you met the lady in somewhere in Braamfontein? The Lembe.
I did, and I went to her service one Saturday. She invited us out. Her name is Beersheba.
Yeah. Yes. Now, this Lembe in Zimbabwe, this Lembe guy is being interviewed, and he says they get recognized, and I'm thinking, who should recognize who here?
Right.
Yes, the Lembe are the real ones. So are the real ones that are from the Israelite tribe, the tribe of Israel. They are the ones actually. These other ones got in there. The Ashkenazi joined this Judaism, and hence because they couldn't call themselves Semites or Lembe, they said, no, you know what? Let's rather call ourselves, for religious purposes, let's call ourselves Jews. But I think it's a term that came long afterwards. They said, we're calling ourselves Jews. And in due course, what did they do? They sidelined the hair and they assumed the hair's identity.
Mm.
That's why when you speak something that does not align with their system, or you speak against their system, they're gonna say you are anti-Semitic. They're not gonna say you are anti-Jew. They're gonna say you are
Mm.
anti-Semitic. Yes,
Yeah.
because those are the ones. Those are the ones.
Mm.
So I think we need to maybe go back and really speak about this term Jew.
Yeah.
The same way we speak about, we need to challenge the term Christians. You know, those definitions are man-made. They are
Yeah.
not, they are not, yeah, no, they are not.
Jesus
No,
himself, Jesus himself was
I'm not
first,
a
well,
Christian.
the Christians were first called Christians in Antioch, and it was an offensive term because Jesus was a Jew, or whatever the language was at that time. He was a follower of, the faith of
Judaism.
the Hebrews, right? So, and he did not see himself separate from, I'll use the term Jew because that's the term that
Yeah,
we currently understand, but yeah, he did not see himself separate from the Jews. He saw himself as a fulfillment of Old Testament prophecy, right? So, in the Old Testament prophecy, meaning that's the book of the Jews, the Torah. So, yeah, so that's definitely a terminology that has been adopted, like the term Christian. But I say, as a I have been in terms of whether Jews control the media and all that good stuff. I mean, there's an argument that can be made, and then there's an argument that can be made is just a person who happens to be Jewish. However, my problem with Jewish people is not necessarily Jewish people; is the Zionists, those individuals who have gone into Palestine as a
you got it.
Muslim.
Got it.
It is I see other Muslim people in Palestine who were there literally for 1,000 years. The Palestinian people are biblical people. They are known as the Philistines in the
Yeah.
Bible, right? So they've
Yes.
been there thousands of years, and then in 1948, listen, my parents are older than the state of Israel. My parents are older than the state of Israel. The current state of Israel that we know now was founded in 1948, and they came into that land, the Zionists, and forcibly removed people from their homes that they lived in for thousands of years and hundreds of years, and had their children there, had their life there. Now, if these people claim to be God's people, can you show me how that is godly? Can you show? And if that's the God you believe in, I don't want to believe in no God that'll do that to somebody. That's that's not the same. The God of the oppressed cannot be the same as the God of the oppressor. It just doesn't work that way.
No, definitely not.
Yeah,
No.
so that has always been my issue, and I, that's always been my issue with those people who have called themselves Jews in the way the state of Israel. So let me even say this: the Zionists in Israel, to be more specific, because I don't want to categorize the entire Jewish population, because there had been people like what's his name, Rabbi Abraham Herschel, I believe his name was, who was a freedom fighter for on behalf of Black people. There have been Black people, there have been Jews again who were killed and lynched assisting Black Americans in our struggle. So I don't want to ever ignore the history that exists there with those Jewish people who were actually living out the tenets of their faith and standing on the side of the oppressed and fighting against those who are attempting to oppress Black people. But those Zionists in Israel, those people, those are oppressors, right?
Yes.
Those are not the people.
Those are the ones. Those are the ones. You see, when in the First World War, a resolution, a trade-off was made that the war was gonna be over if they make a deal. That's why the Palestine occupation That was the deal, and you know who they are. Those families, those famous ones. I don't know if
Right,
YouTube will allow us to say the names, but yeah, those are the
right.
Zionists. Those are the families. Yes. So we are where we are. We've never been given a chance to read or to understand the story of Hitler. We always, when you speak about Hitler, it's like, no, it's a no topic. But why not? Why don't we go and get the story of Hitler and hear what Hitler had to say about what he did? We need to hear it. We're tired of hearing the other side of the story. We need to hear the other side of the story as well. We need
Well,
to
what
hear
I
about
say
that
is
guy.
this. Hitler killed some people. He killed millions of people. Some people say it was up to 6 million. Some people say it was less. But what I know is that Cecil Rhodes came into Southern Africa and slaughtered more people than that. Leopold, right? So why does the United States have a Holocaust museum, right? Holocaust exhibit, but the greatest transgression that ever existed was the transatlantic slave trade, or one of the greatest transgressions that ever existed against a people. At least in the United States, they don't have anything commemorating no slavery. I don't know if we would want to call it a slavery museum, but they don't have anything commemorating that that tragedy that took place. The people of Southern Africa suffered so much under Leopold and Cecil Rhodes, right? Why didn't America build something for the people? Because the Holocaust didn't take place in the United States.
It
right?
didn't.
And the second thing is that if some people argue that, oh man, the Jews were the victims of the Holocaust and they needed a land. Well, if they needed a land, who committed the Holocaust against the Jews? It was the Germans. So why didn't Germany have to give up the land? What the Palestinians got to do with getting, you know what I'm saying? Why the Palestinians had to give up their land for something that Germany did? I don't know. That made no sense to me.
Yeah. Yes. This brings me to this one question I want to know. I know America celebrates what? Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah. What is that? What is Thanksgiving? Why does it coincide with the Black Friday?
Because capitalism. Man, don't you understand? I keep telling y'all, man, America about money. America is about money.
What are they giving thanks to? What are they giving thanks to? Because
So
now Black Friday, we know where Black Friday
so
comes from. That's why I don't even go to those.
So let me tell you how Black Friday supposedly came to be.
Now,
so Thanksgiving is the day that in reality, historically, is a day that white people begin to commit genocide against the Native American people right after a meal, right? It was supposed to be the Native Americans and the Pilgrims, wasn't it? Or somebody coming together and they had this meal. But in reality, that was the beginning of manifest destiny and taking this land from the Native Americans, right? So they commemorate that. And I say that as a person who is oppressed, who comes from a group of people who were oppressed, I can't support a Thanksgiving holiday because we know what happened to the Native Americans, right? Any more than I can support a Columbus Day. But historically, after Thanksgiving, people would rush out on Friday to get their Christmas shopping done early. And that's how Black Friday began to come into existence. When I was a child, we didn't know anything about a Black Friday sale. We knew that people would go shopping on on that Friday, because people were usually off from work. Most places would give you Thursday off of Thanksgiving and then give you Friday off, so you can have like this extra long weekend. And people would take that opportunity to go shopping, to start their Christmas shopping, because Christmas is now only 30 days away. So the genius that America is as it relates to capitalism found a way to market it, to promote it, and to use it to have people to go out and spend money, right? And I'll tell you what, I was surprised to walk around South Africa and see Black
Yeah,
Friday
me
sale.
too.
I was like, that's crazy.
I didn't know that was over here.
Yeah, I thought that was like an American marketing scheme, but now we know that America can market all over the
it's
world.
fairly new. Yeah, it's fairly new. I don't think it's not even, maybe not even 20 years old. I don't think I only heard about it I think a few years ago. It's just like Valentine. I only knew about Valentine maybe around 91. Those concepts we never had them. We never knew those things. We never knew them. They are very recent, and I can see our kids believe these things.
Yeah,
Believe
well, no,
these
not my
things.
children. I make sure, and that's part of, so I know that Islam over here may have a different contextualization, right? But when Black Americans start accepting Islam, it was a rejection of all of that. It was a rejection of the white Christianity. It was a rejection of their holidays. It was a rejection of, Valentine's Day and Christmas. It was a part. Becoming Muslim in the United States from African Americans who were historically Christians was as much a religious conversion as it was a political statement. When someone hears, and when someone hears that a Black person 99% of the time is a Muslim, they know, and I'm talking about an American context. Now, this is not the same everywhere, but in the American context, it means, oh, he's not to be played with because he ain't even buying into our BS, right? Our Muslim figures are Malcolm X, Muhammad Ali, Minister Farrakhan, and them type.
Yeah.
And you see what I'm saying? Like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, people who were stern. And Kyrie Irving is actually a Muslim too, but people who were stern in their positions and who were supposed to be conscious and awakened. So it wasn't just about the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It wasn't just about him, even though he's the central figure of our faith. It was also about the rejection of the American ideals and the system that it had created. I see our brother Darren jumping on here, man. We didn't got into a serious conversation. I was in here laughing, y'all.
Man, y'all got so serious.
Y'all got me laughing.
Serious late at night.
Look at brother Darren on here. Brother Darren, you can hear me? Oh, Emmanuel, you got your hand raised? That's from before. All right, ain't nobody
Dr.
talking.
Asad again. Simply a quick one before I'm gonna drop off. Because my team is being beaten at the World Cup, so it's being beaten, so Betway is gonna take my money. I had my bet on Germany, so I'm losing some money here.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway, Doctor, what I wanted to say was that like, please maybe try to stay away from religious things, like maybe commenting about Jews and stuff like that, because like even here in South Africa, there is a strong presence of Jews. Like, although they seem silent, there is this organization called the Jewish Board of Deputies. When Mandela went to negotiate for the so-called freedom in the US with Bill Clinton and others, he had to negotiate with the Jewish Board of Deputies and the Anglo-American group to secure their mining rights and stuff like that. So the Jewish are heavily behind closed doors here. So I believe.
I feel you, brother.
Yeah,
I feel you.
And
I tried my best not to be like overtly offensive to them. But let me say this, and I have to say this. Let me get back on camera. Let me get back on camera. I have to say this, like the Prophet Muhammad told us as Muslims. He said, now this is applicable whether you're a Muslim or not, because there's a truth in this. Whether you're a Muslim, Christian, Jew, atheist, agnostic, whatever you believe. He said, if you see an unrighteousness, but we'll say injustice, you're supposed to change it with your hands. If you can't change it with your hands, you're supposed to change it with your tongue. That means you need to say something about it. And if you can't change it with your tongue, you're supposed to hate it in your heart. And that is the weakest of all faith, just to hate it in your heart and to remain silent. So I can't be weak when something go down. Like I won't be silent if I see an injustice. And those are the people that go down in history as those, whether they are big known names or whether they're just people that you knew in school or whatever have you. The people who are willing to speak on behalf of those people who are facing injustice, who are willing to stand in the gap for our people. We can't be afraid. I will not be afraid. I ain't never been afraid in my life. You understand? I'm afraid of some dogs. I think I just pit bull next door.
Pit bulls, yeah.
That pit bull out of control. Yeah. But other than that, we need to have people who are willing to speak the truth, but we got to speak truth with love.
Yeah.
You got to come from a place of love, and you got to come from a place of facts. Now, I'm not in the business of convincing people who don't want to be convinced. And I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about those who seek to stand in opposition to the liberation of Black, brown, poor, and oppressed people around the world. So I'm not trying to convince them. They have their own position, but I would much prefer to speak the truth to my people, to the poor, Black, brown, and oppressed people around the world, poor, Black, brown, and white oppressed people, because believe it or not, you walk through Kentucky, you walk through Tennessee, you walk through Ohio, and you see the poorest of the white people that you ever seen in your life. You understand what I'm saying? But their minds have been convinced that I'm the enemy and not the capitalist system that placed them in that position. You see what I'm saying? So we have to speak truth to power. That is whatever religion you are, speak truth to power. I come from that tradition. Brother Darren.
Just a quick one before I go. I thought about that, Doctor, and I thought about that. Darren, I know you wanna speak. Like simply based on what you just said about like the black hate, all right, whereby like people are conditioned rather to perceive Black people as being a danger to them somehow. So like since you are helping to put us on the map as South Africa, and then like what do you feel that we can do as South Africans to actually help maybe push the anti-Black hate crime bill, like so that you guys can be able to pass it in Congress and stuff like that?
For us to pass it, for you guys to assist us in passing the anti-hate bill. I know there's an anti-lynching bill, and I think there was an anti-hate bill, like a hate crime bill. So it's not like just anti-Black. It is hate crime, which are certain protected groups, Black Americans, Black, brown Americans, LGBTQ members and stuff like that. I'm not really sure. That's a wonderful question. I think all you can do is, hope, praise, write letters of support if need be, whatever. I don't know, because I'm not really into that type of politics, in terms of that. I don't know because you know what Dr. King said, you can't legislate love. You just can't do it. You know what I'm saying? You can't legislate love. And that's really that's ultimately what solves everything, is when. So here's what I have noticed both in South Africa and in America, because I was out there with them George Floyd protests. I was a protester. I'm not really into that type of politics. Oh, let me. I see you got another brother on, but I'm gonna mute him. But I was out there with them George Floyd protests. I was, say her name, Sandra Bland. Say his name, Mike Brown. Say his name, George. I was out there doing it. But you know who I was out there with? So I was out there with a bunch of both in South Africa. And brother, I'm muting you right quick. BHEKI. Let me mute you right because I was getting feedback from myself. But hold on, I think the brother, because I don't know if he understands, if he hearing me. Then say I'm asking him. Brother, I was out there doing it, but you know who I was out there with? Brother, can you hear me? BA
Becky?
You probably got to mute. You probably have to mute everybody.
Okay. Yeah, he got it. So I was out there with some young white kids that was out there marching and protesting. There was some young Asian kids out there marching and protesting. And then I looked up, they had white people in Poland. Poland? What these white people in Poland talking about Black Lives Matter, right? So I see here in South Africa, the white people that I've met, especially the young ones, 25, 26, walking around with 18, 19 years old. And let me tell you something, racism is a very strong, and then it's hard to break. White people in Poland. Brother, can you mute yourself from it? What these white people in Poland talking about Black lives? Myself. But brother, but Kia, can you mute yourself from it? I'm gonna mute you one more time. All right, I'm gonna get to you, brother. But I'm saying that as we see these young people continue to have access to information and actually have relationships with each other, and I'm not talking about intimate relationships, I'm talking about friendships and going to school with each other, it's very hard to begin to hate somebody that you was in the sandlot playing in the sand with. It's very hard. So I see here in South Africa, as well as in the United States, that there's a generation coming. It may not be the generation that's alive yet. It may be two generations from now, but there's a generation coming that will totally eradicate this type of mentality from the world. Brother Darren.
What's going on, brother? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, bro.
Okay, man. How y'all doing, man? It's good to see you guys.
Man, we good, brother. We good.
I'm looking at you guys. You guys look really relaxed.
I'm laying in the bed, brother.
But every time I see you look relaxed, and I'm envious because I'm feeling stressed again. I'm back here and I'm feeling all this pressure.
Ooh, I know.
It's not a good thing either.
I'm actually like the brother asked me, well, what can I do for you?
Man, I tell you, we are definitely putting everything together so we can get up out of here and join you guys and lay on our beds at 10:40 and look just as relaxed as you guys look.
All right. Just tell your wife I love her products.
Yes.
Oh,
I use some on my bed.
I was mad right there.
Okay, I'll definitely let her know. So you can just make sure you go into Amazon to do some reviews. We need reviews.
Okay, I will.
That's done.
I will.
I appreciate it. But man, I really just called to check in on you guys. I saw you guys on, and y'all messaging got pretty deep here. Talking about everybody from Kanye to
so Brad take on a life of his own, man.
It does. As a matter of fact, I've gotten to the point that I talk about it, but I had to take the advice of Brother Malcolm, my son. He was just like, Dad, it ain't even worth it.
Yeah.
Why he said, you getting all caught up in this stuff. It's like, it's tiring. It just makes you tired.
Yeah.
And he actually told me one day, he was like, don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
Because he sees the energy and the change and the difference in how we were. My kids, my two older daughters, they're rushing us to go back because they said they can see the difference, believe it or not, just through video. That's through seeing pictures. They said, I see the difference in your face when you guys came back, and you only been back a short time. And they said, even your face looks different. And I was tripping because my oldest daughter, I know how she is. She pays attention, really. And she said, Dad, your face looks different. Your face looks stressed again.
Oh man, let me see. So my wife jumped up and she grabbed your wife's products. So we're gonna do a commercial for you right quick.
Right. People were asking, like, what products? So
what products,
Pydana Collection is the name. You need to zoom in.
Zoom in, can y'all see that?
Pydana, Pydana Collection.
Hey,
so this is the Marula and Kaposhu.
You gotta put that in English.
3-in-1 intensive. Thank you. Kupasu. Herbal Silk 3-in-1 intensive moisturizer. Oh, stop moving.
I'm sorry.
I'm trying to zoom in. This is for those of you who asked. So Darren's wife.
All right, they can see
her products. Okay. Then we have the leave-in conditioner, the avocado leave-in conditioner. It's great. And then finally the hair oil.
Brother Malcolm, what's happening, brother?
And it smells.
Nothing really.
Leaves your hair
But-
real soft. Love it.
But my wife really does use those products, so we don't. Darren ain't paying us. I mean, you can send us a check if you want, but
No, they left me a sample. Like
Yeah,
before
those
they
are
left,
good products.
they smell good. And so yeah, they're good.
I use them in my beard and make my
well,
beard soft.
but y'all know Black Friday. We always like those days for retail business because you just kept seeing the Shopify and the Amazon site just going off all day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So I
Brothers-
tell brothers a lot of times, I said, we don't have to participate in certain ways. I said, but when it comes to doing business and making business decisions so we can do bigger and better things for our families, I said, you still have to take advantage of these things just from another side. And what we do is we benefit because, yeah, we put on sales and whatnot because it's necessary in order for us to make this living and to make sure Brother Malcolm get what he needs and make sure my wife and my kids and we provide food, shelter, and we are allowed to come back and forth and go to Africa as we please. But
Yeah.
so I appreciate you guys putting that out there.
Man, definitely, brother, man. It's a great product, man. I want to get to this, brother. And then I saw Sarah Jane was here.
Yeah.
She came back. So Sarah Jane, but let me get to this, brother.
One,
But-
Darren, right before you go, people are asking if you can put a link to the products in the chat.
Put a link to the products in the chat, brother.
I will.
Yeah,
I'll put it on the YouTube side and on this side, on the Zoom
Brands
side.
in black hands.
That's right.
Brands in black hands. Be
And
intentional.
dollars too.
Dollars too. Be intentional about where you place your product, your money in the product you buy. Yeah, Johnson and
Absolutely.
Johnson ain't making this stuff. Like, give me that stuff there.
Oh,
Johnson and Johnson ain't making this stuff. What's that word you said it was, brother Darren? I can't even read.
Kupasu.
See, Johnson and Johnson ain't making nothing with no Kupasu in it.
No,
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 Johnson and Johnson ain't making nothing with no Kupasu in it.
no. They really don't.
What a Kupasu?
It comes from Brazil. It's actually a butter, very similar to shea butter. Actually, it's supposed to be about 200 times more moisturized than the shea butter. And I'm sure your wife could probably testify to that.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're gonna have to get it another name, though, brother D. Because black people can't pronounce how you say that again? We can't pronounce that. Especially
It don't matter. We just
Yeah.
want to make sure they can pronounce Paidana. If they can get Paidana down, we ain't worried
I
about
had
the
that down.
Kupasu.
Yeah, we can get Paidana. That's just a couple of syllables, but Kupasu, yeah, we all. I don't know.
It makes good rankings on Google though.
Oh,
There
okay.
you go.
All right.
They know
sure.
what they're
All right,
doing.
guys.
Yeah.
I'll talk to you guys though, man. I'm gonna be
Hey,
listening.
brother, when you
the rest
coming
of the
back?
time.
When the next trip?
Well, my wife is trying to go January. She ready, y'all. By the way, she's ready. She told me, she's like, okay, well, maybe we should just find an apartment. And I know I may have to stay a little longer. And she said, well, Malcolm and I can go over there. That way he can go ahead and get started in school, do what he needs to do. But I told her we'll talk about it in January when they can leave. But I think that's probably what's going to happen. But I'll talk to you guys on a personal level more about that.
Definitely, my brother.
right.
Definitely, my brother. Always a pleasure, brother.
All right, but I ain't going nowhere. I'm gonna stick around. So if I hear
All right,
something, I'm
cool.
gonna make sure I plug in. Okay.
All right, I know we got Sarah Jane, but let me get to
Is it Becky?
Becky. You gotta unmute.
Do that. Hi guys, how are you?
What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm good. I have a friend from Sweden. He told me about you guys, and I started following you on YouTube. And it's just amazing. You guys have got an amazing spirit and very inspirational. And I mean,
Bro, we look related, man. I'm looking at you, look like you could be my cousin or something, brother. Got the same skin tones, same haircut. Man, what's your last name? You from New Orleans?
I would love to. I would love. Listen, it's very funny. You know, when I grew up, right? I always, I remember when I was at primary school, right? And I always thought I was going to marry an American woman. So I will fake an American accent. And
let me hear your fake American accent. Let me hear.
and I lost it along the way. I lost it along the way.
Uh-oh, somebody, let's focus. Yeah, I do want to give me a little South. I want to go back to New Orleans one day with a South African accent. I've been practicing. I'm gonna bring it out in a couple of days.
Uh-oh. Which one though?
I'm gonna start with the Zulu type.
Which one though?
accent.
I'm gonna start with the Zulu type.
Brother, focus. We're gonna have to put you on mute because we're getting feedback.
Yeah.
But yeah, brother, continue. How you say your name for me again?
Becky.
Becky.
Yes, yeah.
All right.
Yes, yeah. I mean, I grew up in South Africa, and I left at an age of 27 to the UK. Since I left the country, I really never had a desire. I mean, of course, it's home, but I really never had a desire to return. I stay in London. I mean, everything is great. But after just watching you guys and listening to you, it's amazing. Something just got ignited inside me to start thinking about coming back home and do something over there. And so it's just amazing. I'm so glad that, I came across you guys. Sometimes it takes someone who's outside to, because sometimes there's so much opportunities that are in South Africa, but sometimes when you are in, it's very difficult to see those opportunities. It takes someone that is outside. And it's just amazing. I've been listening to you guys and your level of passion and excitement. You've really made me to think about, coming back home, maybe not to stay, but then just, have a look at various opportunities and just, contribute in whatever measure or level that one can to make the country better. Because I think there's quite a lot of opportunities, and there's a lot that can be done in the country. And So I just thought, let me just come up and say hi. And you guys, and just the two of you, you represent. I mean, you're such an amazing couple. I think you should start running relationship coaching sessions.
I can give it to you right now. Whatever the wife says is right. Just be quiet and listen.
Wow.
That's all I've done.
You don't follow that.
I'll write that down right now. I'm writing that down right now.
Let me tell you, my wife has, she know we don't really argue, and I can't stay upset with her, right? So, she ended up, ruling the house. So I've just given up. I've been emasculated.
But Dr. Assad, sometimes when you look at the woman, a woman speaks volume of the quality of the man that is next to her.
Ooh, that's real.
The beauty that we are seeing in her, that is reflected in her, is an indication of the quality of the man that is next to her.
Man, you need to do a relationship.
It's just my observation.
A word.
It's just my observation.
I gotta pass the collection plate for brother Becky, man. That boy,
she came with the wisdom and everything.
Yeah, definitely, brother. Well, look at you. You reflecting.
It's so silly.
All right, brother Becky. I see Sarah Jane had a hand up earlier.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Thank you for allowing me to.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Definitely. Sarah Jane, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to join in the topic of the colored thing because If you think about
Oh.
our history, I'm actually classified as colored, well, would have been anyways. So if you think about the colored thing, it's just more of a case of the way that we were classified, and it's difficult to be able to explain to people that were outside of our country why certain people were called colored and why certain people were not. And like with Bill 2C, I know like in some of the black certain black tribes, they are lighter skinned than
Yeah.
some of the other tribes, but they are still called African because they can speak the African language, and they were raised in those areas where that specific tribe came from, if you could call it that. So like I know the Xhosa people are a little bit lighter skinned than your normal, like the Zulus and the other tribes that surround. But it's difficult to explain to an outsider why certain people are colored and why they were colored, or why they were. It wasn't always about just
Color.
the skin color. And obviously, because the Afrikaans people, what they used to do was the pencil test. And if your hair was, obviously you put the pencil in and it falls out, and you've now got the nice hair and stuff, then they would try and classify you as white, especially if you looked at. And in my family, I've got very dark, and then I've also got the blue-eyed blonde. So a lot of my family actually, because of the way the culture was, culturally we were separated, our families were separated.
Wow.
In our own, like our cousins and stuff could not live where we lived. They were not allowed to come in our areas. And my aunties and my grandmother, and they lost a lot of family because of it. And communication had stopped between families, and visiting between families was difficult during that time. So if you listen to Trevor Noah's stories, you know how he spoke about he wasn't allowed to hold his mother's hand. That happened, like in my family specifically. And like if you know the history of Cape Town, District 6 was a colored area, which was amalgamated place basically, where coloreds mixed with blacks and whites and everything. And in 1956, when they did the Group Areas Act, so the Afrikaans people came and separated everybody. So some of your family members who could have passed off as white didn't want to obviously be, how can I put it, under the black culture, or seen as black, because they didn't want to be, they had access to the better education, they had access to better environments of living and that type of thing. So they would separate from the families as well, based on the way they looked. So just with the color thing, it's it is a culture in itself in South Africa, to be honest with you. So that's why some people are seen as, some coloreds used to see themselves as not necessarily a part of white or black, because some people will say we were never white enough and now we're not black enough, type of thing. And that's some of the issues that's in the colored communities that gets caused. And also because we were raised with a lot of Afrikaans, so a lot of colored people will speak Afrikaans as a language. And that was something because in our schools, Afrikaans was pushed a lot more than in the Black American, or the Black schools and stuff. So just a thing on colored people, I know you guys were speaking about it earlier.
And that's important what you're talking about, and it hits home because I'm about to show you a picture, and Adrian's going to show you a picture. I'm going to show it to everybody, because if you guys Google Louisiana Creole, CREOLES, CREOLES, you see a group of people who were classified as black, but they had the special delineation, they're Creoles. Because they had black blood, they were considered Creole, but they were still counted as black politically and everything else, right? So, oh man, it won't show. Too light, and then the person too light. So I can't show you. I was trying to show you. Maybe if I turn down the screen a little bit.
Maybe so.
Yeah, let me see. Can y'all see that lady right there? That's my great grandmama. Yeah, that's my grandmother's mother. And if you see her, you see a white woman, or you see a light-skinned black person. And the state that I'm from, she just black. And Adrian's going to show you her grandfather.
One of him by himself, but It's bright again.
Uh-oh, turn your
this is
screen
him.
Turn your screen
Let's
down.
see. Well,
She'll figure out how to turn the
Yeah.
screen down. Or send it to me. I'll do it.
yeah, we'll do it.
But yeah, so we have a very similar, not even had, we have a very similar group in the state of Louisiana and in the city of New Orleans. They are called Creoles.
We can see him there. Maybe that's him here.
And
Yeah,
that's
he
a
looks like a
black
white
man.
guy.
That's a black man.
Tom Lawson.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that's a black man. That because the way America divided us up was that if you had any drop of black, one drop rule is what it was called. If you had one drop of black blood, you were black, no matter if you had blue eyes, blonde hair, straight hair, or whatever have you. And when you mentioned the pencil test, we had a pencil test too. And we also had a brown paper bag test. So if you were darker than a brown paper bag, you know the brown paper bag you get at the store?
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
you were darker than a brown paper bag, you couldn't go in the Creole area. You had to stay
Yeah,
in the black area.
the difference obviously in our country is we were separated further than that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were separated right down to, like I said, yes, in a certain way it was levels. So you had your whites, and then you would get your Asians, your Indians, and then it would be the coloreds, and then it would be the black people type of thing. And a lot of it also made no sense because a lot of people interracially had relationships, which then caused further, because even with the colored people, you have the Khoisan people who are the original South Africans born here. You know, they are also coloreds. So they are an actual tribe of colored people that had their own language, the Click language, you know, the Click language, that comes from the Khoisan people. And they all like the Northern Cape region, Western Cape region, that area there. And they were the nomads of South Africa. If you really go back and go that right back before the Afrikaans people and the Western people came to South Africa, the Khoisan were originally found here like that. And they were the original, before besides the other African tribes. So they also like a lighter skinned people, but they were also seen as colored. And they interraced.
I'm sorry.
Mixed, and that's sorry. They mixed obviously with the white people, and you know, everybody had interracial. And then when the Afrikaans people brought in the apartheid system, they tried to break it up. They tried to split it in those ways. But I just felt it was like, how do you split it, where families are literally split apart and people don't know their own sisters were basically left, and people's houses that were in 1956 with the Group Areas Act, people were demolished from houses purely because of the color of their skin and moved into areas that the government decided to put them in. That's basically what
horrible. When I went to Pretoria, I think it was is it the president's house or I went to Pretoria.
Oh, Union buildings.
Is it the president's
Union buildings? Yeah.
Oh, the Union building. There's a guy who sits outside, and he had like all of these postcards up explaining that, you know, the Khoisan people, the original people, we were here before the Zulus, we were here before the Africa. And I'm reading the history because he's like, I guess he's in a perpetual state of protest about the land. And I just found it so interesting because, you know, I didn't know that. I thought the Zulus and the Khoisan people, all these people just kind of coexisted in the same place. But he was like, no. The Zulu came from like the northern area, maybe around Durban and above or something like that. Yeah.
So the Khoisan is the bottom half of South Africa. So there's the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape and the Northern Cape mainly also, because they were nomads and they roamed the land and they ate off the land, and that was what they were. I mean, and even up until today, they're still fighting also for their portion, because obviously when the Western people came here, which basically took over all the land, and they started also moving up into the parts of our country, started taking the lands of all the different tribes, basically. And then if you know our history and why the Afrikaners also took over, that's another story in itself, and that's all blamed to the British and how they started concentration camps here for the Afrikaners because of the Anglo-Boer War. And they gave the country, basically, they gave a country which didn't belong to them to other people who the country didn't belong to them either. And that's how apartheid started.
I want to
That's
ask, I
what
see
we-
Josie go focus. I'm coming to both of y'all. Josie, go ahead his hand, but I want to ask this. And when Sarah, you can answer, Becky, you could answer, Josie or focus, whoever wants to answer. I want to know who was it better when the British came for like Black and brown South Africans, or were the Afrikaans better? I know both systems were horrible, I can imagine, right? But did the British bring any sort of reprieve or relief? Or was it just
Look,
like,
the British was after. Look, what happened was it was first the Dutch that came here, and they obviously started moving into the country, and they created their own community, which then basically started, how can I say, navigating themselves through the rest of the country. But the British actually brought like a governmental system in place here. So they basically put in, we belonged to the Queen up until 1940, I think 48. We belonged basically to the Queen. We were under the Queen's rule. And we used to basically sing God Save the Queen, the anthem and everything that time. So we were colonized by them. But when, I won't say either one is better. I would say obviously the Afrikaans one was harsher based on the rules that they implemented with the structures that they put in place to separate people. The British brought and took too much from our country. They took our gold, they started the mining, they started everything that we know as financial structures or governmental structures is very British based and still is so in certain parts of our country. So I won't say the British were worse or the Afrikaans were worse, whatever, but I would still say that the British took a lot. They took our minerals, the diamonds, the gold, everything that we had. They never left us with anything. And then the Afrikaners basically capitalized on that. And they used that to their advantage once the country was given to the Afrikaans people in 1949, I think.
Josie Gold?
Yeah.
There you
Greetings,
go. What's happening, big brother?
I'm good, and you? Like, how are you doing?
Man, bro, I'm good. I'm good, man. We got to link up in real life, bro. You know.
Someday we will link up, I promise you.
Man, you ain't never on camera. You in jail, Josie?
Hold on, let me turn on my camera. Oh, it's still dark. Okay.
Go ahead, brother Josie.
Yeah, greetings, Adrian. So yeah, okay, look, the whole British or Afrikaner thing. Okay, look, for me personally, with my people, like my father's people, because my dad's from the Eastern Cape, he's Xhosa, they were defeated by the British, meaning that their way of life, basically them running themselves, them not being dependent on some global system, was because of the British. The Afrikaners just took over. And of course, they brought in something that was considered to be harsher, but I can't compare the two. I mean, I can't, let's say this one's better than the other. Both were brutal, both were evil, so I can't praise one over the other. So for me, it's a complete no on both sides. And I think the whole Khoisan argument, look, oral history for us, for me, from what I've been told, is that it says Southern Africa as a whole, not just the Northern Cape, Western Cape, but the Eastern Cape, was just Khoisan at one point. And then over time, of course, is like, because some of us are actually a mixture of both Bantu and Khoisan. Like, I think that's something that I've also discovered over the years. And then there were intermarriages, let's say in the Eastern Cape, Eastern Cape, KZN, all over like Southern Africa, with what people refer to as Bantu people and Khoisan people. That's why some languages have cliques in them, like the Nguni language, like Xhosa, of course, has the most, followed by other Nguni languages like Zulu. And even a lot of like the Sotho speakers as well. So there were a lot of intermarriages between these groups of people, which happened over thousands of years. They coexisted for a long time before white people settled here. That's something that no one talks about when they speak about the whole Khoisan thing. And one thing that I called in for was earlier on when we were talking. Look, I think what you and Adrian and even before that, the Real South Africa started a trend where like a lot of people are coming here in large numbers. I mean, like Queen Key, like, I mean, she made a video. not a video, like one of her community. She said like she's staying here for another month. So that's something that you guys inspired. I mean, like more and more people are coming in here, more people are watching your videos. Started with the Real South Africa, even now you guys, and people just watching you guys actually live here. You inspired a lot of people. More and more people are coming. So it's a good thing. I mean, salute to you, brother Assad and Adrian. Like, you guys really started something special for a lot of people. They really discovering this country because of you. And
I want to
yeah.
say this. I appreciate that, Josie Gold, but I have to say thanks South Africa because, like, and Darren, I'm glad Darren is still on. Darren got on here and he said that his daughter looked at him when he was here on video, and she saw something different in his face. She saw like a peace. Am I right, Darren? Like she saw something in his face, and then when he got home and he had to go back into that matrix, he had to go back into that system, she saw something else in his face. So,
and the thing is, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Hassan.
Let me just finish, and I'll let you jump in. Dr. James Bennett, who just texted me, and but I'm on live, I can't respond. But he said we were having a private conversation on the phone, and he said, Assad, I used to watch your old videos, man. You wasn't even shaving. You were, and it's the truth. I wasn't even shaving my beard. I would just let it grow, and just because it was just, I wasn't depressed like clinically. You couldn't diagnose me, but I knew I wasn't happy there. You know what I'm saying? So the light and the joyfulness, all that good stuff. My wife used to tell me, you know, because we came here so many times. My wife used to tell me, you know, you're kind of different when you go there. You're more happier, and then you come back into that place, and it just changes your disposition. America changes not only the racism, the white supremacy, all that. You got to be on guard because everybody got guns. You know what I'm saying? You just got to live a certain way. We used to drive around our house and make the block before we park, and that wasn't for white people and white supremacy. That was for the black people in my city with guns who was looking to rob and carjack people. You see what I'm saying? So to come here. So I thank South Africa for opening its doors, for allowing us to be here, because we find a peace here. Mm-hmm. We find, and granted, we see the problems. I see load shedding. My lights just flickered. You understand what I'm saying? I see load shedding. I understand, but there's a peace that we experience here, and I think that's why more and more Black Americans are discovering it. Because once one goes, they come back. Darren was traveling around. He was around all of Africa, like all different parts of Africa, and he came here and he's like, I got to come back here. You see what I'm saying? Like when Black Americans enter South Africa, and what we see is we see the infrastructure, we see Black people, we see the poor Black people, we see the rich Black people, we see the colors, we see a nation of you know, really what we see a Wakanda, a potential Wakanda, right? A place on the African continent that has the potential to be the greatest nation for Black people on planet. Right now, it is the only, and I've said this a long time ago, South Africa is the only world-class, first-class, Black-led nation in the world. That's not a knock to any other African country, right? But we know that South Africa has the infrastructure. We know that South Africa has the stock exchange. We know South Africa has the wealth. We know all these things, right? And then it has this peace. It has these beautiful people who are warm and welcoming. And I'm sure you got your gangsters. I pay attention now. I ain't no punk. But the everyday people that we meet, you know, when I open my mouth and they hear this accent, and then they tell me, welcome home. Yeah. Wait a minute. I mean, this happens so much that I'm sort of immune to it now because it happens every day, right? But you know, that first couple of 10 times, first 20 times, that's a feeling, man. You don't know what that does to Black Americans who have been, you know, a lost tribe for such a long time. To have one of your brothers and one of your sisters on the continent to welcome you home. Oh man, that's something spiritual. That's a disposition shift that you can't put into words. That's like coming out of prison and having your brother and sister throw their arms around you. That's the prodigal son return. It's all kind of, you know, analogies that can be used to describe that feeling. So Yeah, as much as y'all like, oh, you're doing great for South Africa. Y'all know what y'all done for me, what y'all done for my children. When my children go to school, and he got him a little, my oldest son, you know, he a playboy like his daddy used to be. He got him a little girlfriend, you know what I'm saying? But I used to be worried about his self-esteem going to a school where he was the one of, you know, 5 or 6 black students, and he likes this little white girl or something at school, but she may even like him, but she can't like him because her mama said no, her daddy said no. You know, how does that affect his self-esteem? Now he was out. This is God honest truth. God honest truth. We went on a walk before we got on this live, and we ran into our neighbors, and our neighbors are, I don't know if they're Afrikaans or British, I don't know what they are, but they have the lady is a husband and a wife, but the lady has a little brother who's also near my son's age. And she said, my little brother wants to play with your son, but he's so shy. He says, your son is so cool. Yeah.
Okay.
He said, your son is so cool. That's not something that we always experience, brother. Yeah, that's not an everyday experience for Black Americans, man. So yeah, shout out, brother Darren. I want you to jump in on that.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you right now, and Mrs. PLC, she's in the chat I saw on the YouTube side, and she just said it's a healing. And my wife said that today. We were talking about what can African Americans offer South Africans, and then we turned it and said, what can South Africans offer African Americans? And the first thing my wife said was healing. And I saw Miss PLC say healing. Let's put it this way. And right now, this is just for, you know, for African Americans that are on, and then for brothers who are not African Americans for different parts of Africa or the diaspora. And I'm sure, and I could say this, I'm not sure even Becky, he's in a Western country. There's right now, I mean, literally right now, there's a stress that's over my eyes and here. There's a stress on my neck. And I'm technically, I guess most wouldn't even call me stressed out right now because I'm relaxed. I'm living on the beach here in Destin, Florida, and I look outside and the water's even here. But it doesn't take away that stress. It doesn't, I don't have the same peace when I was in South Africa or even in Uganda or Kenya. I don't have the same peace. And it's not even like we walking around broke, busted, and disgusted. Like I said, we living on the beach. We living on the beach, and my son goes outside and plays with his dog every day. But I heard a brother say, he said, no one has ever won the rat race. Now, I mean, that kind of just sums it all up. And if you can't win the rat race, and it doesn't matter how much you have as a Black man in America or as a Black woman in America, doesn't matter how well you do. There's this sense of stress that you must carry. So it doesn't matter if you're Kyrie Irving and you're super rich, you got to speak a certain way. You can't say certain things. Or even if you're Ye, he can't say certain things or do certain things. It doesn't matter if he was a billionaire. And even you can go to Candace Owens. She can't do it either. She's even hers, and she's on that other side, as they call it. I love all my people. I'm gonna just put it out there right now. I love them all.
Right.
But even her, I've heard her sit up and talk, and how there's this lost freedom. It's there, but it's just not there if you're Black in America. So, and like I said, I looking at Brother Becky right now. He heard me. I said it because he said where he was. And it doesn't matter if you're in the West. If you're not part of the majority, I'm sure he could probably, and I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, Becky, please correct me. But it's a stress that's over you.
Man, the brother, there's a con people, there's a proverb that says, even if the prison is beautiful, you don't stay there at peace. And Brother Darren, you touched on that. He's living on the beach. He's living on the beach. He could walk outside and see the water. You would think this Negro had made it. We wasn't poor in the United States. Whenever y'all hear me talk, y'all hear me say, oh, we poor people trying to struggle. Man, we were coming to South Africa on a whim anytime we decided, right? So apparently we had enough money to make international trips anytime we felt like it. So Dr. James Bennett that I was just talking about, who told me about me not shaving, he's a doctor. His wife is a doctor. They're both doctors. You say to yourself, these are Black folk, why are they leaving? What is going on? They're successful. If no one has ever won the rat race, they came close, right? But there has to be something. So it has to be something else. It has to be far more than just, economic opportunity we see here. There's something intangible. There's something spiritual. There's something metaphysical that takes place when Black folk come to this continent and when Black folk come to South Africa, right? I'm talking about African American when I say Black folk. So it's something that we can't describe. Like if anybody were to see what we were doing in the United States, they would say, "Oh, well, why would you leave? You guys, you balling. You got money. Your wife drive a nice Audi. Why would you leave?" And I'm like, you just don't understand until you get there. And that's another thing. Black Americans don't know. Like, there's another proverb about two young fish that were swimming along, and the older fish passed by, and he said to the two young fish, he said, "How's the water, fellas?" And they looked at each other and said, "What water?" Right? Because you don't know it when you're in it. You can't see it when you're in it. You follow what I'm saying? So a lot of Black Americans are in the United States and they don't know that they're under the stress that Darren just described. I didn't know it until I came to the continent, right?
I can say the same thing. I didn't even realize it.
I didn't realize it. I was just living it. I thought this is the way life is supposed to be, And then you come here and you feel this reprieve. You feel this, this release, the tension goes away. You're sleeping better at night. And you're like, God damn, what's happening? And you never want to go back. Man, I came here in 2019. I moved in 2022. That's fast. I had to take a year off for COVID. Man, that's fast. That's fast. Think about that. There's some other people who came and just said, I ain't gonna leave. They ain't got no visa or nothing. I ain't gonna call them out. I ain't gonna call them out. I ain't gonna leave that. I can't go back there. I'd rather go to jail in that state than to go back. Go ahead, Joseph.
Yeah, look, you did come here very quickly. So that's something that we need to know. And another thing that you guys were talking about earlier is that you were talking about how concerts or something like in these festivals can attract people. I think I was listening to like the tourism minister, was it last month or a month before that, she said the increase in a lot of African Americans that have come here was actually because of Amapiano. I think a lot of people have been watching a lot of like the balcony mixes, the Amapiano balcony mixes, and a lot of them said that they were here for some of the festivals and some of the parties that were happening here. So that could work, but Amapiano seems to be the main thing, especially for younger Black Americans that have been coming here. So yeah.
And shout out to the Amapiano artists. Shout out to like Afro Beach from Nigeria and West Africa, because this is one of the first times people like Davido and Burna Boy. All right, brother Dave, Darren, you out? Peace, brother. But they are the ones who have like reignited in a younger generation interest in Africa through the music, right? We listened I was in the club in Dallas with my brother from Dallas, and Burna Boy, which I know obviously he's from Nigeria, but Burna Boy comes on, and you got to understand how sometimes we didn't listen to African music. We barely listened to Bob Marley. You had to be an old weed head to really be listening to Bob Marley, right? But Burna Boy came on in the club, and the club went, yeah, all that, man, it was jumping. They didn't even know what he was saying. Like, they could barely understand the English through his accent, and he throwing in, but it's that music will attract, because you know what they say, music is a universal language, and we Black people, when you make that music, we gonna feel it. We might not understand it, but we gonna feel it. I can feel Amapiano. I don't know what they saying. Half the time they ain't really saying nothing. It's just the beat going on. You know what I mean? But you feel it. I see the styles and the dance and everything. So yeah, shout out. I think that would really work. Becky, you want to jump in? Oh wait, I'm sorry, Emmanuel. Well, but Becky and then Emmanuel.
Yes, I just wow, I saw Brother Darren he's left. I so wanted him to be around because I wanted to take this opportunity to just thank you guys. You have no idea the impact that you have made in our lives. I mean, I grew up in the 80s, well, the 70s. So, you know, apartheid was still strong in the country. We were going through so much in the country and being told we're nobodies. We couldn't do anything. I mean, they gave us names. We were Kefas. Those are the names that they gave us. So it was tough growing up, you know, during that time. I mean, you look at the young guys who are just coming up now, who never had that experience. I mean, well, they didn't have to experience that, but, you know, they do not really appreciate the advancement and the significant steps the country has made in the past to get to where it is. And I mean, growing up in the 70s, I mean, we looked up to you guys, especially African Americans. You were our standard of success. When we looked at you, you helped us to believe in ourselves, that we could become somebody because of the life, I mean, what we were seeing on television. You know, our African-American brothers, you know, they had confidence, achieving, driving nice cars. And so, you know, even the music, I mean, you know, well, I'm a Christian, so everything about Christianity, I can trace it back to some American preachers. You know, when I was at university, we will wait until 12 midnight because 12 midnight up to 1 o'clock, there will be a gospel moment. So the likes of Shelley Caesar, you name them, you know, and so we will wait for that moment to come. And the whole hour they will be playing the African-American gospel artist will be crying tears. That was our source of inspiration. That's what sustained us those days. So you guys, you have no idea the impact that you have made in our lives. You know, we've always looked up to you because you were our role model. And so we believe that if you could achieve it, then we could do it. I mean, granted, you also had your own challenges. You were dealing with your own challenges. But I mean, what we're going through in the country, I mean, really, you know, Black people, that side, you know, there are places we couldn't go to. I remember going to the university in Cape Town. We were one of the first Black guys to go to that university. And so they will switch over to Afrikaans and will not understand anything. So the whole conversation will be in Afrikaans. And we were a small group, so we couldn't do anything. And I remember doing a dissertation. My lecturer told me that I will not become anything. I was good for flower arrangement. And I was doing telecommunication. And that's what he looked at. He said, Becky, you're not going to make it, my friend. You don't belong here. You should think about doing flower arrangement. Wow. And so he told his other buddy who was supervising me for my dissertation that he should not pass me for the dissertation. He should not give me consultation. To this day, I did not graduate for that program because of that.
Wow.
So you say, there are some things that moves us when we start to talk about the things of the past. Yes, we have moved away from that, but the experience, it was real to us.
Yeah.
We had to go through those things. And so I got a scholarship. It was, there's a company over there, it's called Telkom. I don't know if they're still there.
Telkom,
One of the major telecoms companies. So I got a scholarship because I was studying electrical engineering then. So I got a scholarship And so they felt that I was not deserving, that scholarship was not supposed to be given to me. And so that's why they decided to put stumbling blocks, because they thought, well, the white folks were more qualified than me to receive that. So that's why they had to put those stumbling blocks on my pathway. And so those are just types of the challenges that we had to go through. So I never passed my degree. And so I kept on working, and I had to move to the UK, to London, you know. So when you move out of the country, you know, with all those kinds of experiences, but one thing that I found when I got to the UK, in London especially, the white people were different from the South Africans. And so I had a conversation. So I was in the conversation with another white South Africans. We're just chatting and talking about stuff at home, what used to happen. And so there was an English guy, a white guy, an English guy, listening to the conversation. So when the South African white guy left, he came over, he said, oh, the guy that you were talking to, where is he from? I said, well, he's from South Africa. I said, you also from South? Yeah. I said, I distaste white South African. This is another white man. So, I was just like, wow, that was very interesting. So my assessment in terms of race and things like that were challenged. And so I began to realize that even the white people amongst themselves, they've got their own
differences,
own stuff. So the English don't like the Irish. The English don't like the Scottish. They talk down on them.
Yeah,
you know, it's just amazing. So it's exciting to see us coming together and rebuilding, working together. And I believe, especially South Africa, it's fun. I'm just going to share this because it just happened yesterday. And I had a dream, and basically in this dream, because I was just thinking about it a few hours ago, it's like South Africa was hidden. So, and it was exposed. So it's like pulling off the rug. So I was thinking, what does it mean? Is it exposure to the global world? Or what does it really mean? But I think the information I received was more about there's been so much lies that have taken place in the past about even the people in the country itself, and historically wise. And I think people are beginning to wake up to the truth. And you guys and some of you who are moving in, you are those kinds of arrows that are shot back to the continent to become the beacons of light. You just said something a few moments ago about when you see injustice, speak. And so what we were taught when we talk to people, especially I think it's very prevalent within our cultures, like the Zulu cultures. We kneel when you talk to the elders. We don't look at the elders' faces when we talk to them, we look down. So when you find yourself in the culture that is outside your own, when you talk to a white person looking down, it's a sign of low self-esteem or a lack of confidence. Clash of cultures. And so you guys, you have a different perspective, the way you see things and assess things. And you are necessary. You are a necessary component to the equation, whatever that is necessary to galvanize or really just adding value to the continent. Well, South Africa especially, it's one thing when you have grown up, all you've been told that you can't achieve anything. It goes to your mind. It affects your relationships and everything about you. I mean, coming to the UK, it took me quite a long period of time to break the barriers I had built over my mind. So I still had the South African mindset, even though I was outside South Africa. I still saw myself as less capable, inferior around, the white people. It's not the white white South Africans, it's the British. But I still, the fear I had, the lack of self-esteem, it took me quite a long period of time to work on that and find myself and heal and allow myself to heal and allow my mind to heal and understand that I have value. My value is not extracted from the perception of others. It's who I am. It's the value that God gave me. And so we're talking about the change even in the country. It's, I think the focus has got to be more spiritual than just, building, putting bricks and blocks all over the places. It's great, it's nice. But if the foundation is not intact, it's not going to be sustained. And the foundation, I think it's more of the spiritual aspects, finding ourselves. Because once you begin to find yourself, you become healed, you become whole, one with yourself. You regain that confidence and you begin to move in the abilities that God placed inside of you. So you care less about what others think. You get out of the competing mode. I'm doing this because I'm adding value to society, because it's my responsibility and role as a human being. And I think that's where that's the place we have to get to for us to see the change. Politics and all these nice programs, we've seen all different kind of programs come and go. They've never left. Yes, they've played their part. But I believe that, we have to build right. And that starts with self-identification.
Brother, that was the most profound monologue that I've heard in a very long time. It was just, let me critique it. Critique in a good way. Like, it went from being, I thought I was gonna cry at one time when you told me the story about your dissertation, and then your words of uplift, and then you closed it with the spiritual. Brother, I thank you for your words, man. I really, really do. I appreciate hearing that. You made Brother Darren jump back on.
Oh, is it?
You did.
Yeah,
You did.
you made him
You
jump
did.
back on. And I want to say, man, you touched me in a very personal way, for several reasons. As I listened to you tell your dissertation story, I thought about my uncle. My uncle has a PhD in chemistry, right? But I don't know if you guys know the story of Emmett Till. Emmett Till was a young man who was lynched or killed because they said he whistled at a white woman. This was back in maybe the 50s or the 60s or whatever had. And my grandmother told my uncle, who would eventually go on to get a PhD in chemistry, that he should not look at white people in the eye. He should hold his head down when he saw white people pass. And he went on to be an important person at IBM. He taught at the University of Kentucky, but he said it took him years to look white people in the eye. He had to learn, he had to train himself to look eye to eye with white people, right? And that is the biggest plantation that the white man ever created, was the one in our own minds, right? He really did a trick on a lot of us in the way we think, and I didn't even escape it, right? No one escapes it. It's just like it becomes a part of it, and we have to go through this retraining process, this relearning process, this redevelopment process of our own self, man. So I just appreciate your words. I mean, Sarah Jane she left a comment. She left a couple of comments, man. You really touched it. I think a lot of people in the comments will really moved by your words. I want to give Emmanuel and then Focus, and then we're gonna close it out with Easy. Is my big brother here in South Africa. So Easy has been my friend since day one here in South Africa, and I want to close it out with him because I know this brother has a lot of wisdom and can probably back up everything that you just said, Becky. And I just think I'll give Emmanuel Focus, and then easy, and then we gonna close it out because I'm getting tired. My eyelids getting heavy. We've been on here long. Brother Emmanuel, I see you got your hand raised.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Assad and Adrian again. Dr. Assad, I just needed to just come back because I had a lot of speakers did speak about the history of South Africa a bit, and I am like I'm one of the people who actually believe that like Black people are native to the US. All right. I'm one of those who believe that Black people are native to the US as in Africa. So there is a German scholar who came with the Out of Africa story, right? Like the aim of that was to make sure that Black people do not have claim to the land in the US. All right. Like when you take a look at the journals of Christopher Columbus, he never set foot in the US, but in his own journals, all right, he has came across Black people when he was in South America. So there are a lot of things that are inaccurate based on the mainstream history. So similar to that here in South Africa, there is this notion that they want to put out there saying that the Black people are not native to this land down here. They are saying that Black people came here as nomads. They only found Khoisan here, and the Khoisans somehow lived all over this land here, and we were not here. We found them. And the question that actually it is mostly puzzling is that how come are they found on a small portion of land? And mostly they are found amongst the desert areas. And they have managed to actually adapt and live in most harsh conditions, like the desert areas around the Northern Cape. So, like simply just to cut the long story short, the same narrative of trying to discredit Black people from laying claims to land, that is the same one that is being at play here. And one of the untrue story, or maybe one of the stories that is being told partially, not in its full form, is that there are different white people here, Dr. Assad. People came here in South Africa, they came as settlers. They came in a ship full of men with no women. So basically, those babies didn't appear or rather fall from the sky.
Right.
They came into contact with the Black communities, and you know the story. They had children, and they had children with their children to make the children more light skinner and make them more whiter. So basically, as generations went on, and the other white people came here, and they hated those ones because they had more Black roots with them as well. So they hated those. They put the white South Africans, most of them in concentration camps. They were locked up, like mostly abused by the British. And that's the reason why you had many wars, which were the Anglo and Boer War, which were wars between white British people and the white South Africans who have a lot of Black DNA in them. So fast forward to right now. During the end of the World War, most Europeans left Poland, Germany, and all those places, saying that they are escaping from war. When they came down here, they found mostly white Afrikaans people. So what happens is that most people that came here, they copied and mimicked the white South African culture. They adopted their language. They don't speak their native Polish language that they were speaking back there in Europe. So they come here, they speak the native Afrikaans language. So, and then since they came here in the 30s and the 40s, when they were running away from Hitler and the Nazis, when they came here, like in the 50s, that's when we saw the start of apartheid. So the same people who were running from war, they come here and actually influence the start of apartheid. So you need to understand that most white people who are here are not actually white people. They are descendants of people who came from Europe during the war. Just like in the US, you've got some people who came running from the war to the US, who actually influenced a lot of politics in the US and the development of NASA and other key state agencies in the US. So like that's the thing that it is much of a problem. And one last thing, Dr. Assad, when you speak about colors, which I didn't want to talk about this, you know, I avoided this topic earlier on. One other thing is that most people that are referred to or were referred to as colored by the government back then, they were brought to South Africa as slaves from other countries like Malaysia and the Arab nations. So they were brought in as slaves because the locals here didn't understand the type of labor that they wanted. Just like, for example, even the Indians as well, they came here brought as slaves because they knew how to farm sugarcane. They knew how to process and make sugar out of sugarcane from India. Here in South Africa, we didn't have that. So sugar was a foreign plant to us. So when they brought those slaves, they brought them as laborers because when they were trying to farm sugar here, the natives didn't know how to farm sugar at all. So most colors came here as slaves from Malaysia and other countries to provide a specific labor that the locals didn't know of. So that is why they were categorized differently as being different from the native Black people of the land. And the cultural mix as well happened, and also the mixture of white people and Black people, they were referred to as colored as well. But here's the thing, the mixture of white and Black, they were hunted down and mostly killed. Just like Trevor Noah said in his book, Born a Crime, most colors of descent of white and Black and native Black were the ones who were hunted mostly. They were hunted down and killed as babies. Some did survive. So there is a lot to say, Dr. Assad, and
yeah,
I don't want to
brother Bang, the people in the comments are saying we need to cut this short because not you short, but cut this live short. It's going on midnight. I didn't realize it was going on midnight. Jesus.
It's almost midnight.
Yeah, it's almost midnight. We've been on here since about 9 o'clock. Man, I love, look, brother Focus.
Dr. Assad, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. This means
no problem.
Start the space very early. Don't start it at 9 o'clock. Must start very early so that we can.
So we can go on. So we can go on a little longer. I want to say this though. I want to have a conversation about, because I think Sarah Jane may have I don't know, she may have a different perspective on the development of colors than what you just espoused. And I don't know. I'm not familiar. So I think I want to have a colored conversation one day. Like I'm going to do a live and we're going to get our colored family on here. The Khoisan, the mixed colors, the Malaysians and all them. and we're gonna have us a conversation about that to learn a little bit more. I think we need to go on and cut this off. Somebody in the comments said, I see
Yes,
Adrian is
Pastor.
dying. Yeah, and then I need to go make me something to eat. I'm hungry. So family, it is easy. I'm gonna see you on Saturday, brother, and we gonna chop it up. Josie Gold, jump back on. I know you jump back on. But shout out to Josie Gold.
I'm here.
Yeah, I didn't know. I thought you was gone. I don't know how you jumped back on. What happened?
No, I'm always here. I'm here.
Big brother, I'm telling you about Josie. We'll do some investigation on you, brother. We'll find out.
Josie's white.
Josie might be right.
I'm black. There's no way. Just listen to my accent.
Oh my God.
Josie white, but he grew up in the hood. That's all.
No way.
All right, family, man. Y'all have a great man. Thank y'all, all y'all, for jumping on, man. Thank you so much, man. We love all of y'all, and peace, man. We about to go and lay it down.